North American stock futures pointing to a higher open coming up this morning, reversing some of the selling we saw on Friday and looking to put an end to a 5-session losing streak for U.S. equities, coming off a bit of a weak performance on Friday that was accelerated into the close. We're going to talk about Apple shares here, looking to bounce back, hopefully lead the market back into positive territory for the week last week. It's worth noting the S&P 500, the biggest losing streak as far as individual days since back in February. The Dow and S&P at the end of the day on Friday down 2%, 1.7% respectively. The NASDAQ about 1.6% as well. Again, all logging 5 straight to the downside. The number of daily COVID cases on average in the U.S. seem to be slowing once again heading into the weekend. That number dropped, 7-day average dropped for the third straight day on Friday, getting some positive sentiment to some of the travel stocks back in positive territory this morning. So we'll talk about those coming up a little bit. There was some inflation data out on Friday as well, if you remember. That did come in a little bit worse than expected. We do have Chinese stocks back in negative territory this morning. We're going to talk about new moves by regulators surrounding Alibaba, to name a few. Space to the downside this morning as well. Possible more delays coming for Virgin Galactic. It's Monday, September 13th, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. Positive numbers across the board, as we mentioned, 0.6% for the most part, right across all 3 U.S. indexes, which is good to see. TSX futures about the same here in Toronto, 0.7. Brazil Open up 1%. You can see crypto's little change here in the pre-market for equities. Crypto's obviously open 24 hours, but a little bit to the downside. It's been a relatively flat weekend for cryptocurrencies. Good morning, guys. It is Monday. Interesting day setting up here. We're back after a holiday shortened week last week, obviously. Again, pretty negative week last week, but finally getting some bounce back for the market a little bit here, it would appear.
Yeah, I mean, I should be really, we should all be happy in the market, up 0.6%, both the ES and the NASDAQ, and after last week, mostly negative. All that said, the Buffalo Bills managed to lose to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I'm not too happy about that one.
At least the Packers did really well, so I mean, I'm fine with that. So we'll throw some cash around. No, they lost pretty badly as well.
Yeah.
But hey, you know, football's back, which is all that really matters. Like both of our teams, of course, are like, you know, one of the Super Bowl favorites, and they both get shellacked pretty much in week 1. But
hey, we got all of our survivor picks through in our the big pool.
So that's good. So we have, you said what, about 5% or so got eliminated?
No, 15. We're in a big 15? Survivor league. We've been doing for how many years are we in this one? Like 10 years, 20 years. So we're 10 of our 10 entries are 10 for 10, but like 15% of the pool went out because I think they had Buffalo.
Right. Yeah, or Green Bay, and there was one other one. San Francisco almost. They almost put us down there, but we did have the Rams last night, and so we actually entered 10 teams. So just so people understand that.
But what's not going good? So that's going good.
Space.
What's not
good?
Virgin Galactic not going good. We're definitely going to be talking about this one because been waiting around for this thing to break down into the teens at some point where there could be an opportunity. They don't have a lot of I guess tailwinds that will be coming until maybe next year, and they certainly get a headwind on Friday. Getting interesting because we'll probably talk a little more about this, but they're approaching a multi-day low here, which on the break could get pretty ugly for them if it gets taken out. There isn't a ton moving, but this and ATER could be pretty interesting trades.
Yeah, going to be worth having a look at Virgin Galactic. Just reading a couple of headlines here, guys, on 3M as well, just making a move to the downside here, about 1.5%. I'll go through those comments and have a look at 3M, a little bit negative here in the pre-market. Before we go any further, let's get over to Valeria's desk and say good morning to her.
Good morning and happy trading Monday to you all, guys. I wish you a successful, profitable day, and please don't forget to like this video. Let's get it started, Brandon.
Yeah, let's indeed, guys. Get it started here. It's the CFO, 3M CFO, making some comments here regarding they're expecting higher inflation in Q3, not lower, as far as they are concerned. Doesn't seem terribly significant, but I mean, this is a stock that's coming off pretty negative couple of weeks here, it would appear, for 3M. So that just popped up on a volume scanner to the downside there. Why don't we have a little bit of a look here at crypto markets to kick things off, guys? There was a headline on MicroStrategy a little bit earlier before we came on. They updated their current holdings of Bitcoin, now 114,042 Bitcoins, worth about 3 and change billion, or about 27,700 on the average price. So MicroStrategy, I mean, it has been under pressure with crypto markets over the past couple of weeks, but as we said, kind of a quiet weekend. First time in a while for cryptos.
Yeah, we had some. I mean, I have Bitcoin chart up here. It was pretty quiet. There wasn't too much happening over this weekend. There was ADA talking about smart contracts. That's still at 250. But then you talked about Bitcoin. I mean, we did have that big drop. We all saw that 53,000 down to 41 or 42,000. The thing about these crypto markets, and I really starting to feel this way, is that there's always going to be little crashes like that, where especially until the exchanges get organized and get some of their technology all figured out. And that was there was the El Salvador news. I think there's more to come. I think Brazil's currency is absolutely in a mess, and I just think that there's going to be more happening with some of that. They're taking on Bitcoin. I don't know if it's going to be a well-accepted currency worldwide or anything like that, but I do think that there's some base cases starting to be built, especially for some of these more tattered economies like that, and I just think Brazil might be one of those soon. And then it's just bouncing back and forth. Like, even if you go to a 5-minute chart here on Bitcoin, you don't get too many moves anymore. So 46 down to 44, things like that. I think that's to be expected. I think you got to have a little bit of a stomach for Bitcoin if you're going to take it. But I mean, right now you're looking to take out 45. You're right in the middle, and I'm not too worried about anything here. And I actually think the stabilization of some of these crypto markets is okay. I mean, we're going to get some crashes. I think you talked about MicroStrategy. If you want to invest in just a Bitcoin company, basically that would be one of those. There's GBTC, there's ETHE, Mara, some of the other blockchains, SOS, SI, things like that. So, I mean, there's lots to talk about, but I think it looks like it's pretty stable here. I mean, especially if I go to the 1-day chart. I mean, I don't see too much. Again, this chart always makes me zoom back and forth, but it's not too bad. I mean, we were starting to rally back up. Looks very much like a stock, making a bottom here at 30, rallying to 50, and then a dip back down. That makes sense. You test 50, you come back, you'll test it again, and the key really is taking out 53 before we go back to 65, which I believe we get to at some point.
Man, Brazil would be gonzo. If El Salvador's not that big.
I just threw Brazil out there. I have no.
I'm just
no insight.
Don't get the people excited on that one, because that's people. I've heard the term, and I don't know why it's being said this early, like reserve, right? Like when is Bitcoin considered a reserve? The reserve currency, obviously that's going to be the US dollar, which is one of the reasons why you're going to get the big ramp up. I mean, there's not actually isn't as much to see on the Ethereum chart, which I was looking at, other than it's been bouncing not off recent support, going back to like that 3,000, but actually at higher support. Like, so I love the fact that it's not even testing below, and this level here is kind of random. It's like 31 quarter, 31.40 or so. So technically speaking, again, like Bitcoin making a bit of a bottom. When it comes to the individual names in trading in the markets, we're going to talk a little bit about Coinbase today, but I really do think, especially when it's consolidating like this, most of the good moves are going to be playing, probably scalping directly if you can, and then wait for the outsized move, which Coinbase, oddly enough, despite the stabilization, I was looking at a fade on that one today. We'll get to that later.
Coin with an offering today, but hasn't really done much in the pre-market here. So yeah, we'll talk about that coming up. I want to mention Uber here. Not terribly active, guys. We are higher on the day, up 1%. Still stuck in a range, though, overall on the daily chart. There was another ruling, this time in a Dutch court, suggesting drivers are, in fact, employees, not contractors. So this is about 2 or 3 now, I think, that have gone in favor of drivers around the globe instead of for the company. It's interesting to see this thing up on that this morning.
It is, but I mean, at the same time, I think some of the expectation for a lot of these rulings is some people think it's going to go against them, and that's just the reality. Uber is teetering, man. Is that graphic different?
No, it's the same one. I mean, we have the Lyft one I'm going to hit right now. There's the Lyft.
There you go. I feel like it needs to have like a green ground. I don't know.
I feel like it has to have like an Uber Eats thing on it now too, because Uber Eats is a big one there. Anyways, go on.
No, all I was going to say is Uber, this 39 level that it's sort of teetering back and forth on here is going to be, you're basically forming a wedge into it, and it keeps trying to bounce off of it. I know it's broken a couple of times here, but really it's snapped back each time. So if we ever get a break of that level, I don't know if it'll happen this week. Obviously, we're maybe $1.50 above that level now. It does stand out on the daily chart, and it is grinding back down towards it. It would set up for, if you can get a catalyst or even a potential break, bouncing off this and then taking out like 42 quarter. But for the time being, and I say this as an Uber shareholder, you got to watch for that 39 break to come. Like 1, 2, 3 times. It happens the third time. I kind of feel like you're going to get a bigger move into the downside finally. And sort of temper that with everyone's expectations that maybe there's a pullback coming in the market. Yeah, that 39 on Uber, despite the 1% up on the bad news, it's that break that I'd be looking for at some point in the near future.
I mean, here's a 10-minute chart. I mean, this kind of caught us a little bit off guard. We weren't expecting too much about Uber here today. But yeah, I mean, these 39 bases seem pretty good. The thing is, this has had big runs the last couple of days. Like, big drop down, then a big move up, then a big move up again off the open. Then, so I mean, there's lots of movement in this stock. So we're going to have to watch out for Uber today. I think that's a good one. Let's just check out the imbalance locator quickly, just to give you guys a look. And Neil and I were talking about this, and there's not much on here. UiPath.
That wasn't there before.
No, that wasn't on there before, but I mean, we still have 50 minutes to go. CCJ, uranium, we talked about that a little bit. Pfizer, I mean, PaySafe, finally a bid. I don't even want to click on that one. US Steel, everything, SOS is down here. So right now on the imbalance locator, it doesn't look too spicy. I mean, I'm most excited that the NASDAQ's up a little bit, but if I'm not mistaken, I believe Friday, remember we talked about Friday and it was up 0.45 or 0.5 or 0.6 at this point of the day, and we wound up down 0.8 on Friday. So after 5 straight negative days, Brendan, let's see if we can hold something today with only 50 minutes to go. Looks like we're holding up quite nice, but we all know that can change.
Yeah, in a heartbeat here. Yeah, I saw that Camco, CCJ on swaggy stocks on Wall Street Bets. We're talking about that this morning or over the weekend, I guess, as well for CCJ. So an interesting one. I mentioned when we started things off here this morning, the 7-day average of COVID cases fell for the 3rd day in a row on Friday, which is great to see, obviously, in the U.S. That had some travel stocks higher in the pre-market. Some of the casinos and hotels specifically doing the best here in the pre-market, guys. They are, I mean, again, not terribly active as far as volume concerned, but MGM, an upgrade today, almost 2%. This is a pretty good-looking daily chart as well.
MGM, it looks pretty solid. I kind of wanted to have a look at Disney for, a couple of reasons. Like, you do have the recovery play, but Disney's going to release all of their 2021 releases are going to be in the theaters as opposed to online after the recent success that they've had. And I kind of thought maybe you'd get a bump in AMC because of that. And then, of course, if you do have some of the travel and destination names coming through, Disney has been bouncing. And again, I know we want to talk about MGM a little bit here, but Disney has been bouncing off support, is retesting a lower high. It's getting real close to a potential 190 break. And, I kind of like the chart. I kind of like the setup. I thought there'd maybe a bit of a catalyst here today. And I just kind of like this setup a little bit better for a potential break this week than necessarily an MGM. I also like some support that we put in last week. I want to say at about like 184 here, just to see if that's going to hold up this morning. That'll be key because we're only $1 away from that, as opposed to $5 from breaking through that high. So, I kind of feel the slowing cases should be a help for them as well, both for the fact that they just announced they're going they're keeping all the names back in the theaters instead of doing the dual release with Disney Plus, and then of course you get the parks as well. So hopefully Disney can make that 190 run. I sold nothing when it was going down forever and couldn't catch a bit of a bid. Now it seems like it has. It just needs the market to follow through. That's the other side of this coin, right? Like if we do get any kind of a correction, most of the names we're mentioning here, like an MGM or a Disney, are not going to be immune whatsoever to those. I mean, the banks might be okay when we start talking about tapering, but certainly not these names.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me about some of the casino names. I mean, I've really been liking them and wanting to get into some, and we did sell some Apple on Friday at about 152. We tweeted that out and talked about it. I just don't know which one. If you guys have a preference here, I'm going to do a little bit more work, after the show and whatnot, but Wynn has always been, I thought, cream of the crop, stuff like that. You know, the blue chip, the best of the breed here. But you know, the base was really made at 70. I don't think we're going to get back down there anytime soon. But that was pretty sweet. Obviously, you had a huge drop from 155. This makes perfect sense. But down to $35. Geez, that was a low bid there for Win back, obviously, in COVID hype, or not hype, but in its you know, where it was its most active here, I guess, in the market. Although COVID cases now heading on the downside, I think that's good. I read a report that basically by the time we're through COVID, everybody's either going to have to be A, vaccinated, or B, have had it already, right? And so I think that once we get through some of those steps, which is, I hate to say that, but you know, that looks like that's what's going to be. And then I like a 115 break, but that's Win right now. I think that needs to be bought. I just don't know which one. Win or LVS is going to be where I'm going to be deciding. I do like your MGM there. If this chart ever loads up on LVS, we could talk about that. But yeah, I don't really know what we're going to be talking about here. Yeah, someone just said that was right with COVID hype. I mean, it's just the hype in the market. I mean, whether or not you believe COVID is as serious as it is or not, we're not here to discuss that. It's just you see this huge drop down. I mean, any stock you saw down here would have been a buy. The interesting thing for me on LVS is, unlike Win's bottom was 35, okay? And now it's at 105, whatever we just talked about here. Look at LVS's bottom. 35 as well back in March, okay? But the fall was only chopped in half, so much less of an aggressive move to the downside. Remember, Wins was 155 down to 35. LVS is basically right back to where we were at all of this. So the recovery here in LVS, I still think needs to be done. And so for me, I like Las Vegas Sands into here. Here's your MGM that you brought us, Brendan, and it's very, very similar. That's the LVS chart, but I'm sure that MGM had a nice base, because didn't they make some more deals with DraftKings or something? MGM had some stuff happening where we did get to shoot up here, and we're right near the top. That's why that's what I was saying. That's why MGM is a much different look here, as we're taking out the tops on this casino maker. So MGM appears to be doing things right. Like, wow, MGM's bottom was $5, you know, and then we're ripping up to 43 right now. So, man, I mean, we missed the boat in some of these casino plays, but if I'm not correct, I mean, you know, Vegas isn't built on winners, and more people are going to be going back to Vegas. So therefore, I think we need to find some plays here. I wonder if there's an ETF. That's, you know, that's something that I'm going to look into as well.
There must be. Surprised if there wasn't a casino type ETF. I just saw, yeah, Neil, you're mentioning support.com there, just popping up on a volume alert as well. I don't see any reason for it, but some volume coming into SPRT, that ATER, also pretty active. We'll look at those coming up here. Wanted to mention some of the energy names moving around this morning. There was some OPEC related headlines that came out. XOM here up 1%, not a heck of a lot of volume, but oil itself was positive. So a little bit of a kind of side note, I guess, today, coming into some significant levels here for XOM 55, but always worth a mention. Coming out of some OPEC headlines here for oil stocks, guys.
Yeah, I kind of feel like tech is gonna probably lead most people's headlines, especially after we had last week in the Chinese names. And the thing about like an XOM here is, this chart, it looks redonkulously choppy, but there are some pretty clear, when you go to the daily chart anyways, obviously we can talk about the retracement that they've been in, but there's a pretty clear like level that's sort of being put in here around this 54. And it's kind of like, it's not dissimilar from the Uber chart, where you're kind of sitting on this precipice where if you do get any kind of a breakdown, there is some, some air below, I should say, below that 54, especially down into like 52. So, I don't want to ignore the energy names today. I know we're looking at, and just on the radar, I see GSATs going down, guys. There's a lot of things moving. I'm in that LPTX already. We'll talk a little bit about AMC and some of the movers, some of the meme stocks as well. But you look at some of the energy plays, and this 54 level, which is right here, the market starts going to the downside, and you do get a pullback on spot prices. Yeah, you're going to be looking for a potential break. It's sort of lulling itself down into this little, I guess, wedge, setting up for a bit of a breakdown on XOM. And I look at that, and I look at Uber, and there's probably a heck of a lot of other charts that look exactly the same, where you're consolidating for a break lower, which I think is where some people get like these negative feelings, I suppose.
I just put up in the chat, the note to the sticky note there. I don't have anything oil related on there. I am still thinking about some of these. I see that that bets ETF is not really what I was looking at there. But people asking also about GSAT, and we will get to that. That's an Amex stock, isn't it? Yeah. So people saying like, why is it falling? I mean, God, still refreshing these charts. Sometimes I just got to figure out how to use them. I think that's the problem. 20-something years. Okay, so you know this is probably why GSAT's falling, and we'll wait to see if there's any news on this. But you know, once you start to break some of these levels, like 245, 250 here, that's where we held back from the 8th, and then we also held that on the 9th. And then today we're coming in to see a break of that level. So I really do think that it might just be a break here of that 250 level. I wouldn't get too worried until you break near this 185. But again, like GSAT down that 14%, we're up to 5 million shares. And it could have gone either way today. Either a break of this 280 makes sense to me, or a move to the downside through 180 could also happen right now on GSAT. And of course, this is the one-day chart, so we should never be really surprised when stocks are moving, especially when they've been moving. So, you know, this kind of a top makes a lot of sense to me, and people probably thinking the exact same thing here. We've already been up here back in February, March during, you know, the crazy meme stock run, and then we just did the same move again. So why wouldn't this fall right back down? Remember, there's Apple news. Apparently, you know, Trader TV Randy, our in-house resident automotive expert, I guess, is that right? You know, he's called the GSAT news kind of fake news, and then that's probably not going to be happening. They may not be involved with Apple, so we'll have to wait to see. But down here, this looks like a good base for anybody worrying about where to possibly load up again on GSAT. I'd say about 190 or so for them. I'd have to ask Rob, who's here. Do I have Ryzen 7 or 9 with 32 gigabytes of RAM or more? But I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. I know I just went from 16 to 32 gigs of RAM. So I know that much. The computers are good. I think it's because I have eSignal and I have a bunch of Chrome tabs up, which has been
Chrome is a.
I think that's the
Chrome's a problem.
That's the solution. So, but hey, we upgraded the RAM, and I think we're good to go. So, i7 7700K is what we're using. So there you go for everybody. And Brendan, I have a shirt similar to that. I'm glad I'm not wearing it. Over to Brendan.
Yeah, I think we've done a comparison, I believe, on the show, guys. Yeah, remember that that Apple event is tomorrow, by the way, as well, September 14th. So GSAT obviously going to have some ties to that. Here we go. Affirm back on the list here to the upside today. It is negative currently, but big day on Friday, obviously, for Affirm. Dell is on here. There's MGM. We talked about Revolve here as well. Nike really standing out. I mean, pretty weak here in the pre-market on a downgrade. GM as well. More talk about further chip delays, guys, for the auto industry.
Oh, GM.
Someone said nerd shirts. Is that what these are?
Nerd shirts?
These are nerd shirts. This is like a linen. I was actually I said to my wife, maybe I should have asked Maggie about this, but my wife was all on this. I said, I thought you're not supposed to wear white after Labor Day. But then my wife said that it's white pants.
Yeah, it's pants. Yeah, but
as if Brendan knows that. Like,
hold on a second.
Brendan in the background.
Yeah, but like linen after Labor Day is just like, it's September, man. It's like 15 degrees out. Linen is an interesting choice for this late in the year. That's.
I mean, it's going to 24. It's 16 right now.
Fair enough. It's cold in the mornings.
I mean, I'm also not planning on. I mean, I go for like a walk after the show and things like that.
I got a segue for this one.
You know.
But if you want to warm up, then look at a chart of Affirm. I don't know. It's a hot stock. Yeah.
I mean, I thought you could have done better there. I mean, Affirm's down 2%.
No, well, I was gonna say a potential fade on Affirm.
That doesn't give me warm feels.
It should give you warm feels. The chart should give you warm feels. Let's go over because it's a double up. You just saw the upgrade, and every now and then you're gonna get a stock that looks redonkulous, and then look for the upgrade. But like, if you look at the way that it's moved, it's been gap up and then sort of sideways pull off and then gap up on the earnings, although it did have the breakout, right? So you have two gaps, and then most of the trade was sideways action, and you sort of post the Apple news, and then you get a breakout on the earnings day. And we're trying to hold up now. I was looking at, obviously getting to 130. I think that's going to be a sell in the long term, at least some of it anyways. I love the company. But I don't think we're going to necessarily test that off of the open today, but you are putting in this lower high. So you get these parabolic moves up, and then you're putting in a lower high. That's what I want to see tested today, that 125 mark. It breaks 125. I don't want any part of messing with 126.50 or any nonsense like that. I'd be shooting 130 on those levels. I think 120 is going to stand out. If you go back into Friday's action, there was a pullback into 120, which was actionable, and it showed a little bit of a bounce just after lunchtime on that 120 level. So that would be that first level where you could say things could break down, but I'd much rather be selling into the open if it pops and anywhere close to that 125, guys.
Yeah, golf was pretty good. I had a bogey round, so I shot bogey golf, but I missed a couple easy putts there. I'm not even sure if this shirt is linen as I consider looking at this. I think it is.
It looks linen.
I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, okay, so more over the stocks there. I was just looking at this G-set chart and reading what you guys are writing in the chat, so what's up to everybody there? El Chapo, yeah, that's pretty funny. Okay, let's just keep moving on. What about SPRT? Let's have a quick look at that one again. We'll talk about some meme stocks. There's still 35 minutes to go here before the market opens. I remember Spirit last week bounced off that 26 level pretty hard and fell down. So there's going to be right into here on the daily chart of support. So there is something there. Now we're coming back down. Got to watch out for this 19 area on SPRT. There's the 26 bounce off. I mean, it went as high as 27. We've seen that happen a couple times and then faded off there. So we're going to watch out for this area. I guess it's more like 28 really is the area there. We've seen that bounce a couple times before fading out right there, down here, down, hit it there, back down, and then hit it again and back down. So now we'll watch for support to see if there is any support down here. I believe there is. I don't believe there is. I can see that there is between 18 and 19. So again, 500,000 shares isn't bad with 35 minutes to go. We'll see if support can't get down to 18 and change. We're also going to talk more about AMC coming up as well. Get your popcorn ready. Anybody, are they still doing that? If you're a shareholder and you just show your I don't know, stock certificate or your brokerage account that you get popcorn now at theaters. I think they were doing that. I don't know if they still are, but what a great run this has been for AMC. This was $42 back on the 3rd of September, and now it's the 13th. So you have about 5 trading days, and you're now up to $52. So a big 25% move in just over a week of trading. So what a monster AMC continues to be. I want to be hella long this name as we come to 50. So let's see if AMC wants to make a move down. I like everything that AMC is doing right now from a stock
chart-wise.
From a stock side of things. Yeah, it's just lots of momentum to the upside here and lots of bases. So if we can base down to $50 on AMC, we definitely like that one there, Brendan.
Yeah, I was reading a positive article today from an analyst, or a positive note this morning from an analyst, talking about 2 weeks in a row of much better than expected numbers in the box office. So actual fundamentals to go on. For AMC, let's get into everything else that is moving around in the pre-market this morning, guys. If you need the morning watch list, that's where you can find it. That is the link. Miss V will help you out in the chat. If you do need that, all you need is an email address. You can have our morning list for absolutely free. Let's start in China this morning. Chinese stocks under pressure as a group once again. Specifically, Alibaba we'll talk about here. Regulators looking to break up Alipay, which is under the Ant umbrella, I guess, which is a part of Alibaba. So Alibaba itself shares under pressure this morning as well. There was an interesting note on Baidu. Baidu, the first to launch a robo-taxi service in Shanghai over the weekend, guys.
Yeah, and it seems like there's always another hot headline here, and we'll just play momentum. We've already talked about the dip buying on the long term and that kind of nonsense, and we'll shift back into the day trading here. Down only 2%. That doesn't seem like a heck of a lot, but you look at this chart, and there's this interesting gap that's below 165, and then you see there was some acceptance down around before the breakout here, 158 to 163. I think there's a chance that we're retesting those levels this week, and you're not going to get there without breaking the 164.5, which is the current low as we speak. Now, if you're going to use that level, I'm not sure you're necessarily wrong until you get right back into Thursday's bottom, which is that 165.5, right around this little. Forget about this wick in the pre-market highs. We're talking like 165.5 as a pre-market actual top here. So I think that's essentially you're out on a bit of a breakdown in Alibaba. And there was another note that came. The Chinese government also making comments about the EV space, saying that they believe there are too many players in the EV space. It was interesting to me that there was initially a negative reaction to like XPeng, at least over in Asian markets, but you would think that would be a good thing for the likes of NIO. They're flat on the session, and I wish there was a fantastic setup for NIO. But you hear this, if they get sold off on the notion that the government's saying that there are too many players in the EV space, then I think that should be bought, because it should be the other way around. The bigger names should benefit from that, because you would think there would be some consolidation in the space, and the strongest names are the ones that would come out on top. There are no clean breakouts in NEO that I can see, but there is, you come right and check back into like this 37 area here. If it were to dip down about $1, I think that would get pretty interesting. So Alibaba looking for a breakdown. It's just a day trade short, 164.50. NEO, I think, should respond positively to this news, although there's not really a fantastic trade set up yet.
I was just tweeting it out to see if people can respond to it. Does AMC give out free coffee? How about that? Right now, I'll put this on the public chat here, and you guys can click on that, and we can see. I should have put maybe a poll out about AMC, but no talk there as far as AMC is concerned with the stock. I just don't. I mean, if they're giving out free coffee, that's pretty good. I'm pretty motivated for that. Every time we go to Cineplex here, I get like a Tim's or whatever if it's in there. Those of you that know Tim's, welcome to Canada. Tim Hortons. What were we?
They're in the States, man.
They are, but
well, yeah.
I mean, it's, I think there's some in Florida, and I think there's some on the East Coast. I don't know if there's anything in California or anything. Alibaba down 2% today. I mean, these Chinese names just keep on sliding. And Neil just talked a little bit about NEO there. I do like NEO. It's on the sticky note. You can find that. Any dip buys. I mean, I put NEO down to 38.50 for a break, and then anything longer into that might be fine. But again, all these rallies seem to get faded all the time. Like, look at Alibaba starting out high, fading out. I mean, this one actually started low, came upside, and then there's just been a lot of negativity into this. So I don't know, it gaps around, and look, we're still a lot lower. So even though last week we had a lot of positivity, man, we were getting close to breaking 180 a little bit. Now you're back down to 160. So it can't really get out of its own way. I find I don't think that there's any investable opportunities here until they really get everything figured out. There was some phone calls last week between President Biden and Xi as well over there in China. And I don't know. I mean, we're still not at these bottoms. I mean, you could bottom pick here. I think Alibaba's worth it, but Ant Financial is now coming into play as well, and possibly they may not be able to get too much money out of that. They're looking at regulatory issues with Ant. So, Alibaba seems to still be in trouble. The 10-minute doesn't look great. I mean, we could zoom it back out. There is some support at 158 or so if you go back to early, or I guess late August, early September, down there 159, 160. So for me, that's what we'll wait for, but I'm not going to go along any of these Chinese names today.
We're going to Arun here and have a look at the overall market. We are, as we said, trying to put an end to a 5-session losing streak. Back to the upside, but not a huge bounce here, Arun.
No, but here's the thing, right? The volume's changed over. Now contracts have rolled over. That's all dealt with. We changed over on Thursday evening. Friday was the first session where both contracts were trading. I'm talking about the S&P December and September contract on Friday. Now we've fully moved over. Volume has changed over to the December contract. So the Z21 contract, for anyone who's following the futures, that's what's on deck. That's the front month. And the other one, September, will be expiring on Friday. So for now, December is the only contract we're looking at. And the S&P 500 December contract it took a nosedive on Friday. I imagine that has a lot to do with rollover. We went from 2 p.m., I think we fell from 80 something all the way down to 50 by the time it closed. Now here we are, just snapping right back. There's not a whole lot you can work with based on how it's been trading, just because the volume, I imagine, it has been associated with, like I said, rollover, and that's just an immediate snapback after that was dealt with on Friday. So now we just got to wait for the open. There are a couple levels I think we can put down. 45, 44, 45 seems to have held fairly well in the pre-market and on Friday's post-market session. Well, not really. I guess futures is not really post-market. They don't close until 4:15. But after 4 o'clock, we did kind of work some low 40 or mid 40s on Friday. So mid 40s, around 45, that would be the bottom end. That's the only level I've got. Everything to the upside, I'm gonna not even bother with, because there wasn't a whole lot of volume. Like I said on Friday, there's not a whole lot of volume when the contracts are both active. So I can't really trust what's up here. So for now, we're only going to use 44, 45 as the bottom end, and does look like it's positive. It is moving well and strong to the upside. So let that go into the open and see what happens. If we were to come back a little bit and hold strength, I think at that point you can look for some longs, use that 44, 45 as support, and see if we can actually get back above 4,500. But for now, though, it's just a matter of waiting for the open. Another 26 minutes or so, we get that open, and we'll get a few minutes of trading. We'll see the volume come in. at that point, I think you can start to decide which direction this contract is going to go with full volume. And I think at this point, that's all you can really do. Just wait for the open and see what happens then.
Great stuff. Thanks, Arun. We'll check back in again tomorrow morning. Let's talk about Virgin Galactic, guys, to the downside this morning. Essentially right back to the bottom end of the daily range here on news. This test commercial flight with the Italian Air Force, I believe it was, going to be pushed back to October. This all has to go back to the current investigation from the FAA into the descent, Richard Branson's descent. Apparently they went off course a little bit, so they're having to delay this next flight.
Yeah, everyone else uses automation, and they're not as automated as everybody else. Like we talked about this kind of briefly at the start of the show. You're getting some levels on the daily chart which are obviously going to stand out. You got this 23.75 area bottom that it's putting in here, and it's going to be a simple breakdown. If this level gets taken out, I want to be shorting it here. You can kind of even go back to all the way in May when you had a breakout from these levels. So you come in, this is the level I'm talking about, 2 days in a row, both on a Friday and then coming back in to start the holiday shortened week. You're testing 23.80 here. And you know, if that breaks, I'm short. It's that simple. If there's a rally, I'm not going long on Virgin Galactic here today, but if there is a rally, the two places I'm going to look, one will be around, call it this like 25.5 to 25.35 if it slows down in this range, just slightly above Friday's close. That could be one place I'd look for a turnaround. The bigger one, of course, is going to be 26. It should stand out. It would surprise me if the stock broke 26 in here today. So I'm shooting 23.80 breakdown. That stop order is already in to be able to hit it. It's not short sell restricted. At least I don't think it is. But yeah, it shouldn't be. And then, of course, we'll fade if it gets to 26. It just seems sort of obvious to me that would be a resistance level as well on Virgin Galactic.
Yeah, we put it down here in the sticky note here. Watch out for this 23.80 multi-week low here due to more delays. So, it's not rocket science for me. You look at this daily chart here, and it's right here. I mean, these are just break. We tried to get going last week. Neil just talked about some of those levels. So, I mean, on the downside, this it's 23.80. So we'll probably test that today. It's just a matter of does it bounce off that or not, or does it keep on motoring to the downside? We've had some great plays onto the short side on space. It always seems to just keep on going when you're right, one way or the other. So, I mean, although this looks like a nice little scalper's dream here, what Neil was just talking about, like if you just kept shorting $26 every time it came up to it, then you're cashing out every single time and you didn't really have to worry about it. So 26 has been a great short. I don't think there's any reason to go long until we even get to that spot, but there may be a little bit of a bounce back, but right into here, 25, I mean, that's going to be a good short as well. We're getting close to that. So let's just wait to see what happens, but I like a 23.80 break. And again, I mean, I know I'm saying let's wait to see what happens, but we still have the imbalances to come out here. They're not very big right now, only 23 minutes to go. I don't see anything on here for space. No, I mean, this is like 500,000 shares. Like, there's absolutely nothing on here right now. UiPath is one that we always talk about. Well, been talking about lately, and Alibaba's on there as well, but Asana. Other than that, there's not much on here at all. So we'll wait to see here. But I like this break to the downside on space. I just don't think this is very good news. And we'll have to wait for them to get clearance from the FAA or whatever it is that's going to eventually clear them there. With Neil was talking about the technology aspect. So let's wait to see. But down 3% doesn't look too spicy for space.
Support, guys, all the way back and then some. So yeah, we're not negative, no, still up 3.25%. Just saw this note I can show you on support.com. So they updated their merger with this Greenbridge Generations. Really the only change here, it looks like September 14th, they expect it to close. Remember, this was the vote from last week for SPRT. So we are moving back to the downside. That is Apple. If you remember on Friday, this happened following that court ruling in California regarding the Epic Games decision. I mean, for the most part, it was a win. There was one single clause in that argument that did go against them. That was the reason for the selling. I read a whole bunch of analyst notes this morning, guys, on this, and most of them were saying this is pretty insignificant in the long run for Apple when it comes to the App Store, but more to come, I would think. We're right back to this 151 area.
and I was gonna talk about this, but EFTR is on the move again. That just bounced like $7 from pre-market lows here into 35. This has been a squeeze play, so I just want to quickly go over this one because important levels coming up here. This has been a squeeze play a couple of sessions ago. Go to the 15 here so you can see the absolute top was a rejection at 40. It's already put in a lower high earlier or last week around this 36 area, and then again was a good short off this 31. I just checked, and Arun definitely wouldn't want to short this one because it's costing almost a full $1 per share to short it. So I'll see if that price comes down. That's a little pricey, but if it gets close to that 40 again, I'm going to be looking at EFTR for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I wrote down Apple here. It's on my chart. Yeah, EFTR. I mean, we're always looking at these things. A 10-minute chart. So this is what we tweeted it out when they lost that. I mean, you know what? The ruling, there was some good, some bad in there. So not monopolistic, things like that. But they do want Apple to give the opportunity to put links up on their app store to link out their app. So you don't have to necessarily download it from their app store. You can actually go to like Epic's website and download the app from there as well. So then Apple doesn't get some of that kickback. So that's really what the ruling was. I think a lot of people will use, I mean, there's a lot in it, but I think a lot of people will still continue to use the app store. So I'm not super worried about it as much as I was at one point, but it's still negative, and I still think it cuts into some of the expectations for Apple. So you're gonna look downside here, 148, 149. But I actually, you know, with the NASDAQ starting to, you know, leak upside here a little bit, 0.64, it was only 0.5 when we started the show. I think that this 151 here that we had a trouble with Apple probably gets taken out at some point today. And if that does happen, I want to be long into that 151. I think we may only get up to 152.5, something like that, or maybe 153, which is right here. So if we could take $1 or $2 on that break, I think that would be fantastic. But again, a 151, we touched it a little bit earlier, and it was the high. I mean, that's 150 right there. But 151 is sort of where we started to dance around. Downside 150.75, upside 151.75. So we danced around there before heading lower. The whole NASDAQ cracked on Friday. We talked about that. But I like this little break. I mean, it can even be more aggressive, 150.80. But let's play 151, the even dollar break on Apple back to the upside. Again, I don't think the news was that bad. The NASDAQ seems to want to recover from this. So if we take out 151, I'm going to go long Apple. You put the order in now, but there's still 20 minutes to go. So, you know, with imbalances coming out and getting more aggressive near the open, I don't want to put anything right here to get long on Apple. I'd rather let the market open up and then play the momentum to the long side. But I don't think the story with Apple is obviously anywhere near over. And I like the long, and I think you'd regret it, you know, selling it at these levels. I'd rather wait to see. I sold it on Friday, and I'm already sort of thinking that the story wasn't as bad. But let's just see what happens around 151. I think this needs a couple days to settle.
All right, just looking at C3AI, guys. There's a contract, it looks like, awarded to C3AI. It's not really doing anything, actually very quiet here, but the Missile Defense Agency awarding a contract to C3AI for modeling and simulation work. So heads up. As I said, though, yeah, not really doing anything. Let's move on. Squeeze stocks back on the watch here this morning. As we said, AMC, yeah, pretty impressive back on Friday. We're higher again here in the pre-market for AMC. There's that BBIG moving around. Support we talked about updating their merger. ATER was pretty exciting last week as well.
Yeah, I think we'll jump to ATR because that's moving as well. There he goes.
Mr. Cheese.
Mr. Cheese, yeah.
Cheese.
The only thing I'll say, AMC, I think you already said, Sean, 49.50, 49.5 to 50 on a dip buy looks interesting to me. Speaking of dip buys, ATER has just come back almost 10% from pre-market high at 1501 technically, so I can throw out 1501 break at least for the time being. Now, there was a pullback, I should say, not really a dip, a pullback really early this morning in this 1350 area one time. So I do want to look to see if it can't get a run here. This has been a multi-day move. We're pointing out the key level sort of going into Friday, of course, was right around this 15. So look at this bottom here, and then look at when it tried to consolidate off of 15 and then flushed. So this is not randomness, I don't think, at this particular price where you're seeing some resistance levels on ATER. if it's going to hold up, it has to hold through these quarters to evens. It feels to me like it's going to dip before any chance at a run. If I was shorting it, then it probably would have been, I would probably would have to do it in front of 15. That hasn't happened clearly. So I'm looking to see if we can catch a little bit of a dip buy. If 13 wants to hold off the open, maybe some wipeout at 9:30 can come into play here. And then you have a chance to maybe buy around that 13 area, or maybe it bounces, or maybe it flushes through 13, flushes through 1275. And then on the way back up, you have a chance to take out like a 13 or 13.25, sort of on a failed breakdown style trade. But either way, I can sort of throw out any notions of shorting in front of 15 at the open, not into a almost 10% retracement that it just put in already. If it were to bounce to that high of the day, that would be pretty violent, and you could be running into a halt when you're 10% away from the top like that.
Yeah, Tyrion, crazy stock. It was $4 2 weeks ago. Okay, so this is no affiliation here at all. I like the stock page. It's Swaggy Stocks. I don't know who's doing this, but this is a Wall Street Bets guy here. So this is something that you can kind of go to. It's ticker sentiment here, and it just shows you the different companies that are talked about on the social media platforms. So you can see here Apple, CCJ, we've talked about that with the uranium play, Cameco there, I believe it is. Yeah, Cameco Corp. There, Tesla, Alibaba, AMC, Clover. So I actually don't see ATER on here, which is a little bit surprising to me. It's already done 7 million shares, so this is something that should be on here. This makes me think that maybe there's not as much, as many, eyeballs. I said this to my kid, don't say much, it's supposed to be many in this situation. As many eyeballs on this as there may seem to be, but still 7 million shares seems to be pretty nice, but that's Swaggy stock. So if you're looking for something to say, you know what, I'm looking at some meme stocks, it's literally what that page is for. And I think ATR fits that. Beautiful bottoms. I mean, if you look at a 10-minute chart, that's a daily chart. We've talked about this swooping action there. That's been amazing. But this is what a 10-minute chart looks like, and this is what I want to point it out to you. It's just basically been straight up, and you could buy, every dip has almost been, a buying opportunity. As you could see, higher lows just keep on getting put in here as we move to the upside. So this makes another opportunity for that to happen again right here. So if you come down to 13, like every time, there's coming back down to previous day's high, coming back down to previous day's high, right? Coming back down into here, basically all it's really done is retrace and given you an opportunity to get long. Is just, do you believe in it strong enough to take this? And I think 7 million shares, there's definitely enough volume on this. So I think, yeah, a dip down into 12 is a must buy. And then I think any sort of, must buy. You got to have your outs as well. I think it's a must out at 11. But right here, you can get some pops through 14. So I like a 14.25 or so break to the upside. And then we see what we do with 15. So 14.25, I think, is a decent long shot.
I still see about 20% on the short side for ATER, guys. The bigger story, I think, though, 23.5 million free float on that stock. So the float is very, very small. Let's talk Coinbase. Offering announced this morning a senior private offering of $1.5 billion that they're saying they're going to use for product development and potential M&A targets for Coinbase already. Down 0.5% here on that.
Well, they're the big.
Someone's buying them, or they're
no. They're looking.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, that kind of makes some sense. Of course, they'd be looking to buy some stuff. They're the big boy, but they're back below 250. You remember that, of course, that original reference price, which has been a key level. We'll look at the daily chart here. It has been a key level sort of all the way through Coinbase's brief, I guess, stint here over in the NASDAQ. And now you're breaking back below that, incidentally enough, below the 50 period as well. You throw the offering in there, and the simple fact that we're consolidating in spot prices, which consolidating potentially for a break higher. So you want to have at least a little bit of caution. But below that 250, it does feel like a bit of a fade to me. Now 255, was like a broken level of support here. And then turned into resistance, and I'm only talking about Friday that was resistance, so that would be a little bit of a line as well at 250 and 255. I don't think, what I would love to see is if you were to close today above that 255, you almost pretend like this didn't happen, and then suddenly you'd be on the midst of another breakout, but that's more likely if we bounce in spot prices and start breaking out there. Until that happens, I think you're fading either one of those levels, although not a lot of volume, so I'm going to stick to, ATR looks pretty good, and I think support support is definitely going to be in there. Alibaba to the short side, short breakdown, Space to the short breakdown. Probably setting up better in terms of momentum at the open than Coinbase is. And all that said, I mean, the 250 level looks good. 255 sets up pretty well as well.
Yeah, I mean, Coinbase got some bad news last week. We talked about that when, the SEC, I believe, was starting to, they said no into them not being able to have their lend program out. So they were going to, lend against crypto holdings, which I think would be a great business, but obviously it's pretty risky there. And Coinbase, I believe Coinbase is the one that takes the risk on that, not us that are staking our coins there and lending against Bitcoin. I mean, if Bitcoin does drop that 30% or something in one day and you're staked against that, what does that mean? That they have to market out your holdings? Or I just don't know how it works. And I guess maybe that's what the SEC is looking into there. And I guess it would probably be staked against their cash position, I would think. But you can come down here to 246. It's just been like we were rocking. Like this was 280, guys, back on the 7th. It's only the 13th right now. And throw in there a couple holidays and a couple weekends, you're down a lot in very, very little time. So I don't think this momentum is very good here for Coinbase. We'll look to break the bottoms, but I don't think that it's going to run like crazy unless you do get, there goes, my chart's not responding. You see that? That's good. So we'll close that one now. And as you can see, it has nothing to do with RAM. I don't think it has to do with this charting. But Coinbase to the downside right now on the one-day chart, we're below the 50-period moving average. That's never a good sign for anybody, in my opinion anyways. So I think you're going to get back into here in these bases. And I would buy Coinbase. I think you got to buy Coinbase at 220 and see where it goes. It is going to be the future. I do like fintech. I like fintech probably too much. So just let that settle for a little bit. But Coinbase continues to be a problem. You don't buy Coinbase because you're a bullish on crypto markets. You buy it because right now it's the biggest exchange that you can publicly buy anyways. So I like Coinbase, and we will watch that coming through.
A few stocks with vaccine-related noteworthy news stories this morning. Dynavax we'll get to here in a sec, down 10%. Pfizer as well. Pfizer itself came out kind of hinting at the fact that 5 to 11-year-olds might be given the okay for their vaccine. But this DVax, guys, they teamed up with a company from France, Valneva, to make a vaccine. The UK government did a deal with them for a booster shot. They've now squashed that, so that deal is not happening. It was interesting on that note this morning. The UK government actually came out and said they won't comment on why. They just said that the company did something bad and they're not going to talk about it. So 10% here for DVax. Again, the partnership is the tie-in here.
Yeah, it's interesting because the stock actually, I want to say roaring back, but it's not a ton of volume. It's actually just around 1 million shares worth of volume, but roaring back off of 14, getting back into the $16 range. So it's kind of not the entire gap, but if you want to go back into last week's bottom, it's certainly at least about $1 away from that low going into here. And I think, based on the fact that you're not getting any more information, I would lean towards being on the negative side of it and then sort of thinking about that 17 as a resistance level. But, you look at the bounce here in the market or not the market, but in this particular stock and that lack of information, that's the only reason I'm not shorting this pop already aggressively here. So it would have to be testing 17, where at least you'd have previous day close, previous day resistance levels to be able to use to your advantage. You mentioned briefly Pfizer, so I just kind of wanted to say, because Pfizer on the daily chart here, you can look at the 15. You can look at the 15. This is 45.40. You look on the daily chart here. This is about 45.40. I know there's some support down at this 44.60 area as well. But Pfizer looking for an interesting place, if you're not in it, to get a little bit of a buy in there. Of course, you still have the dividend. Everyone always talks about the vaccine play, but there's other aspects to this company with their pipeline, and of course, the strong dividend as well. So it's going to be interesting, at least on the day trade on a break of 45.40, but I think that's the beginning of a chance to start buying into it if you haven't already, or maybe a place to add if you've been trimming. One other one, just to come back, because I think we talked about support. Just an update on support. Support has given everything back from the breakout that it put in just like 20 minutes ago. It's now back down at 21.50. So I guess nothing to see here. It was on volume, it went up. It's on volume, it came down.
We ATR just went, so we took a small little piece there. I wanted to get 14.25s, but I wasn't even paying attention because I was too busy tweeting this out. it looks like this is taking Brendan's job from him, but no one can do that, so we don't have to worry about it. Democrats plan to increase capital gains 25%. So my take on this, and I just tweeted this out and I put it in the chat here, and you can see the NASDAQ starting to rally a little bit on this news, was that I thought that President Biden was proposing 28%. So I think 25 makes sense. BTFD, buy that dip as much as we can. I don't know if it's going to dip or not, but there it goes to the upside. So it looks like the market is liking this proposal. So we'll wait to see if that gets through. Who knows? Just a plan, but I did want to bring that to everybody's attention here, as it looks like the NASDAQ is starting to go up and the S&P similar. I mean, this is not record-shattering news or anything. It's just with that 25%, maybe that's not so bad. And it's a planned increase on capital gains. So I don't know if there's a limit on that. I don't know anything about the proposal, but just thought that was pretty interesting news. So ATER, we'll play this back until where it stopped, 1360 or so. It could be a loser here today. This is not a very heavy position. We just thought that maybe if we ran to 15, we would scalp a little bit off, but it doesn't look like that's happening right now. We may have to wait for it to open up. But ATER, and thanks for the explanation there. I guess Wall Street Bets, swaggy stocks, there's certain rules about putting stocks that have a certain market cap on their websites and things like that. So ATR doesn't qualify. That's why it doesn't make any sense. 8 million shares leading the way. So that is a name that's obviously on some people's watch list, not just ours.
Yeah, that does make a lot of sense. Thank you for that. Again, 23 million, guys, on the free float for ATER. BLU, one that popped up a little bit later on in the pre-market here on some positive news, still up significantly. I want to highlight this level up here on the daily chart, which is $5 even. So the last time we were up here was way back at the beginning of the year in February for this blue. So $5 even is a huge level. We did get above it all the way to $5.50 when it broke back through and then held. That was enough for me. So we're down to $4.70 already for BLU, guys.
You're my boy, Blue. Well, I don't know. I don't know anything about the stock, but why not? It's a classic movie, and I haven't watched it in a while.
If people haven't, let's guys put what movie that is in the chat. First person puts it in there gets a congratulations.
They all got this
from us.
You got it.
I hope they do. Anyways. The best is running naked as he was running to a KFC there.
Going streaking.
Going streaking there to a Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Never done that.
That was good. See, I don't know. No one's really dropped. There it is. What up to Eric? You get it. Congratulations. Yeah, Eric. You're the first
now everyone gets it.
Oh yeah. Because you know what it is? It's kind of a cheat because it's almost like whoever has the fastest internet maybe gets it. Because I know that some people are on a little bit of a delay there. But there you go, Eric. Congratulations as you get that. So we'll do a chicken dinner.
Firm. What the heck just happened?
What's going on with the firm? Oops, I hit
come on.
Thing there. We didn't mean to hit that there. AFRM, what's it doing?
I don't know what's going on with the firm, but it just dropped. It just broke that 120 level. Give me an absolute break. Yes, it broke 120. Watch out. Breakout prices was 115. If you go into Friday's action. So that's already like a $4 move into the downside here on a firm. I don't know if something just dropped that 120 was a bit of a technical level.
Something happened.
Something happened here for sure.
You know what? We were short. We were short on Friday and had to cover for about $1. You guys remember that? Yeah. We were looking at $2, $3, $4 in the face there at one point and didn't cover it. Now the move happens.
Come
on, a firm. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
because I kept hitting hold
there. AFRM. We'll just go to the tweeter station here and see if anybody tweeted anything out right before the open. Great white shark. No, there's nothing here. I don't see anything, but that's why we have Brendan. He'll come right back to us if there's anything. But let's just pretend there isn't. You still have some support right here where we liked the long in the first place on Friday of 110. So we can see where that comes into play. I don't mind seeing where's some charts for Friday on a firm. I don't have my 1 minute because everything crashed, but here we go. So we were
110 and 105.
We were buying a lot there on Friday. There it is. I was just trying to check it out. So our best bid on Friday was 106, 107, but I believe that you can still get some bids in here at 110, 112. But we're not going to do anything until we find out some more information.
Yeah, it just happened pretty quickly there. We'll see. Obviously, a 115 has already broken. If I had a chance to quickly fade it off of halfway through 15 to 20, I'd do it. But this is actually starting to accelerate to the downside. So I'm just going to step away. I think 110 or 105 are the only places you can maybe dip by without knowing exactly what's going on.
It's still going.
And it's still going. And Virgin Galactic is going the other way, by the way. Virgin Galactic bouncing a little bit to the upside.
The Democrats are targeting, DC's Attorney General targeting Amazon. Here. So AMZN, obviously, let's see if they're having a move here. It's wholesale business, so I don't know I don't see anything happening with Amazon, but that's the news that I'm seeing right now. Antitrust suit here. So maybe something was brought on by their purchase of a firm or something, or their deal. Obviously, I know they don't own a firm, but their deal with a firm might have sparked something. Anyways, down
I might get ticked in above 110 here. We'll see what
down
happens.
10%. I mean, I think this probably needs to be bought. I think you're probably right, Neil, buying some of this dip. And like I said, that 112, 113
Yeah, I just got ticked.
was a good spot. So let's see what happens here with a firm.
I just got ticked in 110.82 here. I mean, it just seemed too crazy to me. Oh yeah, quickly. Well, minutes ago, we'll already do a bit of a power up because it just quickly bounced. And that 110 sort of stood out there. I'm still on the 15-minute chart, guys. Apologies for that. We can come back in, and then it gave you like right into 112. So looking at that 1-minute chart, and then let's see what can happen. We got about 40 seconds to go here until the open. I just have a firm in LPTX, and I don't know that I want to jump in anything, Scott. I love that Alibaba that we're going to be watching. I don't know if ATER is going to make another move for you there, Sean, but a firm right back into this 110 level. Even that bounce, like, it was a good thing I got some out there because we're right back in testing 110 even. This is kind of crazy here. With only 20 seconds to go, a firm getting woodshedded.
Yeah, big time woodshed, and we're going to try to go long some Apple if it breaks. I'm also long, very, very small here on a firm. We're going to go long right now and see what happens on this one. Look to buy some dips here with only 8 seconds to go. Space, Apple, AMC, everything on watch.
I just got Baba short too.
AMD as well. Here we go too. And let's let this market open up. Definitely see where we go. Who was that? Miss V. What up, Miss V? Thank you for that one. With her not sitting beside me, very hard sometimes to see where Miss V is at. But here we go. We're starting to open up, and it's still dropping here. A firm. Brendan hasn't come with anything yet, so I think it might be that Amazon story. We will wait. We are now loaded up on a firm, so let's say congratulations. Everybody has this long. Let's see where we go from here. We're long a firm 109.60 now. Hopefully it can bounce.
Yeah, I mean, I just saw a big offer sitting there at 110 even on a firm. So we want to check that one out. If it can break that 110 on the way back up, I think that's a place to add. But things are getting pretty crazy.
Whoa.
Now 107, yeah, this might be one to just sit back and say, this is a long in front of 105, and I'm going to have to ride this one out here a little bit. Alibaba, by the way, triggered in onto the downside. So market actually looking like it's going up. Alibaba broke 164.50, went all the way down to 163. I got nothing out. I'm sitting on the bid. I want to take 163 if I can get it. Those are the only two so far.
Oh, hell yeah, Affirm. What up now, Affirm? We're long at 107.50 off of a nice bid down there, guys. We're just crushing this one. This is a big stock for me today. Let's go. And let's go AMC to the upside here as well. We'll see where we're going to travel here with Affirm, or with AMC. We'll get out of a 20% on this one. We are long at 52. Let's go diamond hands on AMC. Here we go. How high can we fly now? This is a big day for us to start on a Monday. Let's go.
Absolutely crazy. So I'm definitely going to take some out here for a dollar. Don't want to look at the gift horse, proverbial gift horse in the mouth, as Alibaba continues to the downside. I took a little bit out of a firm there as it tried to get back above this 111 level that we were buying before. So if it starts leveling off a little bit more, then I want to dig into it again. That LPTX looks fantastic. That's a small cap short as it continues to crash. But watch out, because Virgin Galactic, it reversed hard at the open, hard. All the way down into the bottom again, so it ticked up to 24.75 and then is now a dying quail. If it does catch a bit of a bid off pre-market lows, I'd probably try to short any kind of a pop in Virgin Galactic. Didn't want to forget too much about that name.
Okay, so bang again, man. Wow, let's go. What day are we having here? Apple with the ripper as well. Apple through 151, out 151.50 half. We'll see where this goes from now. Affirm $3 in the money and still trying to make some money moves on this one. Wow, that's going. Look at ATER, guys. Breaks through 15. Hell yeah. What is happening today? This is Monday. It's a wild, manic Monday here as we continue to go to the upside, man. Things breaking, ripping faces off. ATR, Affirm, Apple, things starting to fly now, guys. $1 in the money on ATER. We've already been up here before, right? This was right in here, 116, 117. So this is not a horrible spot to, sorry, 16, 17, not a horrible spot to get out here. 15.50 on ATER, man. Yeah, welcome to the jungle, guys. This is a big one. Let's just start flying things around. $1 winner here on ATER, guys.
Absolutely, and Virgin Galactic continues to bounce. I'm going to short that pop if we can get it. I want to come, if you're looking at ICMR, that is not going to move. That is an absolute, it's just a cash deal, so it's not going to be interesting. We didn't talk about Moderna. Apologies for not getting to this name. It's starting to roll over a little bit harder as I look to see. It just broke a key level here, and that's going to be 445. I know some people asked about it in the chat, and apologies for not getting to it, but a key level break that just got retaken. If this can hold as support on Moderna, I'm looking to see if if I can short around that high of the day again. I didn't quite get into more shares of Affirm, but I think this one is going to be a hold. Alibaba, good thing we did take that profit at $1. That's coming right back into that bottom break at 164.50. I still like it for the short side of the trade in front of high of the day, so about to reload as I speak.
Yep, exactly. Beauty longs on AMC, beauty on ATER, Affirm still ripping. So we got out there on ATER, guys. We just took that out at 15.25 there for that dollar winner. Affirm started to rip upside big time for us. Went to only to 111, I guess. It's all relative. It goes to 111, 112 there. We still haven't heard anything on this, so we'll wait to see. Walmart says pay with Litecoin option starting. Litecoin LTC starting to get ready to rock and roll there. I got to buy some Litecoin. What's up, Brendo?
Just going to mention that for you guys. Yeah, Walmart and Litecoin teaming up. There's also Asana this morning, all-time highs. I checked on Affirm. There's nothing specifically regarding Affirm, but just that Amazon tie. Again, that's just an investigation, remember, guys, into Amazon, obviously teaming up with Affirm.
But it just keeps giving you these bounces here. Like it just bounced off of, look, first time was 110 a couple of times. Then it was this 109, now 108, now it's up at 111. It's still in a bit of a downward trend, but I like the fact that we're not seeing any real news here, guys. So we'll take advantage of it as long as there's nothing specific. I like that dip buy. We're able to get Alibaba again there, 164.50-ish. I'm going to park myself on the bid down around that 163.5 or so. Again, like I say, you don't want to look that gift horse in your mouth. You want to make sure you're taking your profits. I know you're talking a little about that AMC there. I liked AMC for the dip buy. It's been pretty whippy though. So it's tested and broken 52.5 at least a couple of times and now trying to pull back in. It's almost like it's kind of consolidating and gearing up. As long as it can hold this open range low at 51.50, could be another one of the days for the apes here on AMC. That ATER, by the way, probably a good place to have been selling it because it just turned around hard at 15.5. And I know some of you are watching that EFTR as well. Yeah, I guess it would have been worth paying $1 per share to short it because there it is at 30.50. It just pulled back $5.
Oh man, we were sitting there at 112 and we didn't take it because we got too excited there about Affirm. I actually just bought some Litecoin. I think I'm allowed to do that. So I'll find out what that is. Yeah. I have some Litecoin. I don't have too much of it. Okay, here we come. Let's go back to the upside here on Affirm. We're long at 107. Bang, there it is. There's that $4 winner there. So we'll take that on the board as well and hold a piece of this and see where we go from here. But that's that's Affirm going to the upside. We'll check out what Walmart's doing on some of that news there. We did get out of the majority of our AMC, so we'll talk about that in a minute. But right now, Walmart not doing too much on that news. I don't even know if that's Litecoin. Like, I don't know anything about that. It says Litecoin. I don't know anything about this rumor. I didn't think Litecoin was moving. Brendan, maybe if you can find a Litecoin chart. I just tried, but my Kraken thing there didn't work for everybody. But we could definitely find Litecoin and see if that's moving. I don't think it is. That was my point. But now we're going to watch AMC as it's starting to fall back down a little bit here. So let's see if the AMC chart. So there it is, fall down. We took some out there. Now we're back into this 50-51 area. Not a horrible spot to reload the long on this recent AMC dip. I don't mind it all the way down to 50 though. So if my out's going to be down there, we got to wait a second. I'm going to try to bottom pick some right now. What's up, Brendan?
This is Kitco, kitco.com. Litecoin, guys, just went 172 to 205 on that headline, I guess, for Walmart. Again, kitco.com, guys.
Oh, that'll do it for sure. It's looking like another place, at least I'm going to try to take a little bit more profit here on this Affirm position, just because, you know, again, it's not about looking at gift horse enough, but every time it's gone to this 112, it's had some resistance. So now we're hanging on to, I'm hanging on last my shares, started buying this dip at that 110 level all the way into the bottom. And if it breaks 112 here, I think great chance we can get back to a 115. So let's keep running with this, running with the bears, or bulls, I guess, on this one. But the bears, I know it's been coming down with the bulls. You're
thinking about the Chicago Bears.
I'm not thinking anything about the Chicago Bears.
Thinking about Allen Robinson.
I'm not thinking about Allen Robinson. He's a great player. But ATER, oh my goodness, it just bounced off of 1420 here, or 1430, I should say. Watch out for this 1420. Anytime you get a breakout at the market open like this, in a harsh pullback, you don't want to be breaking this level. I think you're testing 13 to 1350, that area we talked about before, if 1420 can't hold. Watch out for 15 previous pre-market high. If it holds that, I think that could be an interesting place to take profit or short. But Affirm is really setting up for a potential breakout. Back over to Alibaba. I'm assuming NEO isn't doing a heck of a lot because that hasn't really hit anything that I've noticed. But Alibaba was able to get back in. It's 164.60. Just took some out, like I said, below that 164 area, so we'll bank another $1 or so on this name, and then look to see if we can continue the short side trade. So it isn't a heck of a lot. That LP, whatever the hell it is, LPTX, still working to the short side pretty well. But a firm, it just, I don't know, it's weird. Like 112, like it gets to this 112 area and then just keeps on flushing. The fact that it's got buyers down here, I think, is an encouraging sign. At some point, unless I see something firm on a firm, I would feel that we should be breaking this level.
I like that. Yeah, so we've got in and out of a firm.
And I missed MRI.
We're just going to wait for that one. Let's see, what is ATER doing? Good out there on ATER, man. We took that early. We talked about playing some of that momentum into that 1550. So, for me, no big surprise that this one's doing what it's doing right now. Amazon, yeah, not much happening on that news there. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe we're right thinking what that was. So we'll wait to see if it's going to battle back or not. AMC, we're starting a little bit of a mess here. 51, we did get out right there, so that was good. We got out of about half. We'll average in right now, and now it's dipping to the downside. So now this 52 long is not looking so hero anymore. Again, everything's holding up, so thank God for a firm still letting us take that money. But we're going to wait for 50 to break, so I have a little average in down here around 50.50. I do believe in this name. I don't think the story's over yet for AMC. Very, very loving some of the momentum into that name. Okay, we did get out of a little bit of our Apple trade here. So, our Apple trade, yes. Now we're dropping back down. Look at the NASDAQ. It definitely got crushed there. So this Apple, we took out quick 50 cents. Now we've got to try to find some spots where we may resist this drop down. So that was a big, horrible flush at the end of the day. What about a 149.50? That's right where we're at, and that's right where we touched. So 149.50 here for Apple.
I knew I forgot something.
I believe could get bought at some point. Well, what's up, Space?
No, I forgot Upstart, man, which is embarrassing because we literally did a video, stocks to sell on Monday, which...
Oh, yeah. What did I say?
Oh, for the love of Neil.
Look at that.
So I just missed Moderna. Thank you guys for mentioning Moderna. I know I missed out on it. We were just talking about that one. But Upstart was another one rounding up for a little bit of a selling opportunity. It was right at the level that we were selling it last week on the initial short, that 275. And it gives you the rollover. Look, we're actually testing right now this 259, which was essentially the bottom that it put in on this move up. And then that 275 short. So big level here for Upstart. But I can't believe I missed out that one. Brendo.
Just checking on iRhythm Technologies, new CEO. Looks like that was for IRTC just popping up. Wanted to give some Canadian content a shout out here. Denison Mines, DNN, interlisted here in Toronto, the primary listing up 6%. Basically any uranium miner, very much to the upside today, approaching all-time highs for this one, guys.
I think we could do something. Let's do something with Valeria here. So Valeria, I mean, we just did reach a, we don't have to do anything like that. We did just release a video. Maybe we could show it. The 3 stocks to sell come Monday. So maybe if Valeria can highlight what 3 stocks we talked about, maybe at the board, and then we could do that. So I think that's kind of a fun thing to do. We can also advertise some of our videos. Valeria, if you could put that link in the chat, the 3 videos that must be sold come Monday. Neil, myself, and Brendan all picked a stock. So we'll see where that is now. You didn't spill coffee over yourself, did you?
No, I just...
I saw
there was a small spill.
At the corner of my eye, I heard something there.
Yeah,
but
then I missed the garbage shot.
That's what it was. Yeah, Lucas apparently says you're about like 30%.
I shoot like 90%. He just sees 100% of the misses.
That's what it was. Okay, because he thinks you're at about 30% from 3 feet. Okay, so here we go, guys. Apple. I don't believe that's true anyways. I know Neil can shoot that. Down here, 49.80. We just did take another bid on Apple. So let's see if the market now wants to rebound. Our out's going to be 149.50. It is what it is. If the market goes here, then great on that move. And we'll see if Apple can't retake some of those highs one more time. But we're going to be averaged into Apple here on this dip down. Let's see where we go from here. Right now, the only real problem that we have is AMC because it's just bouncing around 51. Let's take another spot here, but our ultimate out's going to be 50. I just don't want to be too dug in, especially with this market tanking. What's up, Brendo?
We mentioned energy stocks briefly there in the pre-market, guys. Oxy just popping up here. Day highs, ripping, guys. Relative volume through the roof. Just broke 26 there on a volume spike, up 4%.
Why though? I mean, oil's down 1.3.
XOM just bounced.
Sorry, oil's up 1.3%, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, XOM bounces off its level. I don't know. This is pretty. I'm just looking at XOM because we were tracking that in the pre-market here. But this is still pretty range bound. It hasn't really broken out, so I'm not gonna dive in too much to that one. Oh my goodness, ATER. Yeah, ATER just
took out the spot I got out at. Yeah.
You gotta be kidding me. I was so convinced. Load.
Low.
There you go. I was so
Bueller.
convinced that we are going to get that 1420. Yes, Bueller, I love it. I was so convinced we were going to get a dip buy in this thing. Obviously, it has not happened. So let's look to see if VWAP wants to hold on this bad boy. I mean, previous pre-market high was at 15 even. So call it 1475 to 15. I guess we want to go upside on AETR today, and buying the dips might be the only way to participate. Holding on to Affirm, holding on to that Alibaba short, which, again, look, we talk about, this is day trading here, guys, so you probably heard me say we liked Alibaba at 162. Well, you know, that's come and gone, and we're almost back to it. I won't be terribly happy in the long term if we get there, but certainly we can trade into that level. If we break the current low of the day, that'll be a 163 even, and just sliding to the higher time frame, because it's always a good idea to look at where your targets are going to be. If this is 158 half, right into about 161. So I know it's a big range, but somewhere in that $2.50 range is where I think Alibaba could get to on the downside, as the market now giving the NASDAQ basically giving most of it back. We're at still 0.1%, but the sell-off continues. I like being in Alibaba to the short side. I haven't really picked on any other big caps. Well, I mean, Affirm, obviously, but that was different.
Yeah. I'm just going to try this one more time just because I want to see. I did buy some Litecoin. I talked about that, buying some on that. I'll have to find out what price I got through there, but we're going to find out what's going on with LTC right now as Apple nicely bounced back. Our average price is still 150.40, but we did a bottom pick right there. Wow, okay. I don't know. We'll have to find out what we're in the money or not on. But look at Litecoin, guys. This is the move right there as Walmart says hello to Litecoin. And now you're going right to the upside. Wow. Yeah, wait till it says hello to Cardano, and then you'll see what's going on there. But Litecoin was always supposed to be peer-to-peer transfer for funds. So that's Litecoin now finally making moves like it should be. So that's a good move for LTC. Let's see where we go with this, Bo. Brennan looks like he has more news. What's up, Brennan?
Just checking on Affirm here. Another volume spike there, guys. There was talk of a secondary on Affirm as well. So heading back to day lows here, possible, what is it, 2.7? That doesn't seem like a lot, 2.7 million shares. But back to day lows here for AFRM.
Okay, well,
okay. I mean,
that might do it.
That'll do it.
Yeah, that'll do it. We're just talking under our breath, but that will do that for Affirm. I mean, this is the thing. Like, give me a break. This is such a... Honestly, this is why this market is just so rigged. Like, no news comes out, and then Brennan just finds something now about this. Like, again, who knows? There might have been some love there, or dislove for that Amazon news there, talking a little bit about what Amazon was doing there, their wholesale business. I don't know. That didn't make too much sense, other than I'm just wondering if wholesale, a lot of people may use that kind of buy now, pay later option. So that does make some sense to me, actually. But yeah, still, nice little move to the downside here for Affirm. And so some sort of a share offering. We'll find out how exactly that's going to dilute their current shareholders. I don't think it'll be that much, but maybe it will, as Affirm's starting to go to the downside now. So we'll have to see how this has affected this stock price, guys. AFRM now 107. I still have my outs at 104, 105. I think this is a good opportunity to buy it here. But again, I still feel like we don't know everything.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of want to see, now that it's bounced to the downside again here on the news, I'm holding on to the last of my shares and looking for a bounce at 105 specifically. But Tesla, now down 2%, is certainly on the radar. I know, like, the people hollering, look at Tesla, look at Tesla. There's a lot happening here, of course, with Affirm leading the way, and then you have the overall market move to the downside. So you have to trade what you have planned for and moves like this, and that's what I want to try to stick to. But Tesla can't ignore it anymore. 720 just came on the 15-minute. I don't know why it wants to load. It doesn't want to load any further, but 720 does stand out as a bit of a level. If I go and pull right back into here. And going to like the 30th, that was the end of the month. Higher lows at 725. That gives you a bit of a target entry point. If we can slow up here and then give you some kind of a range to play. We bounced once off 720. If we can consolidate 21s, I do see us holding on the NASDAQ at least those overnight lows, like that 1540 area. The ES much higher, of course, but the NASDAQ basically holding it flat on the session. That gives you twice the reason maybe to look at the 720 for a bit of a recovery here on Tesla. Only down 2%, but it just went down so fast at $20.
Wow. Okay. I was just trying to check my account up again. Yeah. So we went long again here. Yeah. Tesla's down $20. I missed that whole point there. Wow. Okay. What we were doing was trying to find some more levels here for Affirm. So we just did take another long here at 107.60. So now we're up I mean, it just went to 108 and change, but this is bouncing dollars right now. So we don't want to be too conservative with this play. But if you zoom back out, I mean, we can keep on. Oh my God. We can keep on zooming. I'll just have to move it over here. These were some bottoms here, 105 on Friday. And again, this is brand new news, so I don't know if that's going to mean anything. But again, into the dip, into some nice volume. That's about the only thing that we can look at right now, 105, 106. So if you're playing anything with a firm, I think you have that kind of a backing there for you at least. So, you know, I don't think it's too huge of a risk now with AFRM. Apple's still bouncing around. We will get out of that one if it breaks the bottom, 149.50. We'll get out of that. Still okay. I mean, we made a lot of money off of firm. We made a lot of money off ATER as well. So really nothing to sort of worry about yet on the day trade so far. But if we look at NEO here, it made that patented move to the downside. And I didn't actually write down anything here. Just watch out for the base at 37, which is exactly what formed there. So we'll take a break here of 37.30 to the upside and see if it wants to rally. We do have that 37 bottom that we tweeted about, guys. So 37.30, take that break long.
So I should mention this stock, if only because, look, I'm in it. We talked about it a little bit earlier in the session. That small cap, this LPTX, I was short it multiple times here. It's just another situation of a gap up, consolidation lower. It's now made a bottom at $1.75, which for me, 150-ish close, shorting off of a $2 level, essentially. So the quarters, that's going to be the game plan here. I'm going to bounce off 75. I just took some more shares out at 180. Now I want to see if we can hold, break 175, and get to 150, the ultimate target for the short on LPTX that I've been holding since early in the morning. Brendo.
Just looking around for anything Tesla related this morning, guys. Yeah, pretty ugly for Tesla, down 1.8%. Straight to the southbound side. There was an interesting headline. I actually saw this earlier, and I've actually seen a picture of this thing as well. But Volkswagen, guys, getting into the light-duty truck game on the EV side of things. They also teamed up with this Bristol in China. Volkswagen, that is, not Tesla. So Volkswagen getting into Tesla's Cybertruck sandbox, I guess.
And while that happens, we'll drop this one because Tesla does give the bounce. We got 721.15, and thank you guys for pointing some out because I didn't even see the $20 drop on Tesla.
Wow.
And then you guys brought it up in the chat, say look at Tesla. Quickly, immediately found that the 720 level on that 15-minute chart. We're able to buy the dip in front of it, quite right here at 721. I've just taken some out in front of that 25 area for like $2 and $2.50 there, and then we'll look to see if we can get back into VWAP. So let's see if we can break 725. And look towards, I guess, that halfway point between 25 and 30, somewhere in that region we want to be getting out. I never got the ad in a firm. I hope you got that, Sean. I did not. But Alibaba, as the market is trying to bounce here, it kind of feels like a rising tide is lifting all ships, and that's going to mean, hey, Tesla's going well. Alibaba bounces, makes a higher low one more time here. At this point, I don't know that I want it breaking past this 165 again and then giving it all the way to a 166 top. It feels like if I short it twice in this range and profit twice, I do not need to be giving it to the higher stop. What I'll do is I'll get out if it breaks 165, so I'll adjust my stop and then revisit the notion of shorting the high of the day if it gets to that price. I'm going to hang on to the last of it. I won't be adding a third time, but I certainly will be hanging on and tightening up my stop in Alibaba with the market trying to bounce here.
Yeah, I think you got to tighten stops a little bit here as the market is bouncing, but who knows how far. For now, Apple's all the way back into the money. And look at this one, man. Will Gronk spike it? Congratulations to anybody that started Gronk. I don't know why.
I don't know why you would have, but it worked out.
Whatever, it did work out. NEO right there, up to VWAP there, out of half. We're starting to drop down, but that we spiked that profit out right now. And then look at Apple, nice little bounce back. We talked about that with the recovery in the market, right up to VWAP here. It's a good opportunity to get out a little bit maybe for flat, and then we'll reassess our Apple position right there because we averaged in. And again, let's just reward ourselves for averaging in a little bit here and see if we can't take some out at 48 or so, just ahead of this 50 level, and take a little there. Let's take a little bit of a winner there, and now we'll let the rest fly up. So there we go. So far, so good on Apple. That's going to be a winner for us. The only thing that's really been a struggle, not been a struggle, but we talked about going longer at 51 there. We missed the AMC bid. We should have had some. Now we're right back to where we averaged in. So AMC right now on the moves to the downside a little bit right here, but we did recover. So let's see if AMC, again, take out that 52, and I think we start to fly. So that's why we're holding on to this. As there we go. Just have to talk about it a little bit. Now we're right back, 51.90. We just should have averaged in there. That was a a mistake by me. And Apple, okay, that looked like that might have been a good out. And then our NEO right here at 37. Let's take a little bit more and then use this 37 as our breaking spot. But right now, NEO to the downside, as you can see, the S&P, sorry, this is the NASDAQ. I told you that this happened on Friday, man. We started out 0.6 up, same thing today, and then just dripped as we opened. So watch out for the NQs here, the NASDAQ looking to crack below 1540. That's its bottom right now. 15,400.
It looks like ATR made a bit of a wipeout top there at 1750. It broke up. Look at that candle. This is 1 minute, guys. Right down like 70 pennies, and then another 80 cents here as it tests to 16 even. Now the break was at 15. VWAP sits here at 15.25. If it can put in, I can cancel this bet. I'm not going to get long at 13. Clearly not. But if it can hold up at VWAP here, that would be a good sign. But usually that wipeout top is a sign that the sellers have gained at least a little bit of control, and that's the direction I want to play. If it retests 17, I want the fade on ATER. I've missed out on the long opportunities. Don't want to have missed out on the short. Was that you, Brendan? No,
that was me. I just got out a little bit now. We'll fire off some cannons here as AMC is starting to go back up. We take a little bit out for flat there, and now we'll let the rest run. We took out a quarter of our position that we had there on AMC. Let's see if that continues to fly to the high side right now. We're net positive, which is always nice. We haven't lost on anything yet. We haven't taken any realized losses, and right now we're not out of the money on anything. Our NEO is out of the money, so we did take a little bit of a loss on that so far, but we're waiting for that to drop down to this 3690 or so break, which we're at right now, man. I just don't want to hold this name. The Chinese names, Neil's been talking about that with Alibaba. It's just they haven't been great. So, I mean, to hold something to see where there's a bottom in a Chinese name, I don't really trust it. And then we can get down to 35 as well. So I think that's just a better spot for us. But we did average into NEO, so you could definitely check that out on the 1 minute chart. Taking a little bit of profit, averaged in a little bit more. Now our price is what? 26s. So we're still out of the money 20 cents, and we're talking like it's the end of the world, but it's not. I just don't want to hold this too much against us as here we go with NIO.
We're back to lows on Tesla. I mean, I'm not going to reload on this, not with the market going down the way that it is. Virgin Galactic just bounced off of that multi-day low that we talked about here. As Tesla, good thing we took some profit. That just broke 720. So 720 holds the first time. It does not the second time. Virgin Galactic's about to, I think on this move down, is likely to test that bottom. I'm going short if it breaks. I have not changed that order. This is working for Alibaba. This is not good for that Affirm long.
Nope.
Because that's now breaking down to that 105 that we talked about. So, I mean, I said wait to see if we can bounce off 105. We're at 105 now on Affirm, and we'll see if we can make any kind of a level bounce. If it does, and can kind of check up here, catch any kind of bit, I want to go long some more. But now it looks like this is taking the entire market down. Good thing at least we're holding some of that Alibaba.
Yeah, we just got ticked out of Affirm, but that may have been the very bottom there, 104.50. We were waiting for that to happen, and it looks like we just did get ticked out of that trade. We'll try to get a little bit more long here, but it looks like we did get ticked out of that Affirm as well. So, or not as well. I don't think you did, but my play was there, 104.50. We'll average in one more time and see if we'll take it one more time here and see if that is going to be the ultimate bottom there. We got out at, we might be the ultimate bottom. We'll see if that's going to come back in. We just got ticked out there at 104.40. This happens to me all the time, so we'll get right back in now and see if it takes that 104 one more time. But that's going to be me on Affirm waiting to see what does happen. Apple, good thing we did take some profits on that as well, as that's back to 150.50. That's where we got out. Now it's all the way back down 40 more cents. Yeah, here comes Affirm cracking one more time.
I mean, I just got worked out on Affirm. I'm like, now I want to get back in because it seems like it's holding this
That's
25.
the thing.
Apologies here because I'm looking at Affirm. There it is. It seems like it's holding this level.
Is it? I don't know. I don't know, man.
I keep watching level 2, and it'll break 105. And I don't know why this is still on Virgin Galactic. It'll break 105 here, like several times at least recently, and then it gets down like it just held 104.20. It held 104.40 the time before that. So it feels like to me there's at least some buyers that are stepping up. So I don't want to have the stops that are too tight. And it's like, oh my goodness! Like if you think it can come back $5, like why
it's
am
like 50, 60 cents.
Yeah, like why am I not giving it a little bit more, guys?
There we go. I mean, I'm just yes, sir. I mean, I'm Gronk spiking some of these wins now as we are go right back to positive now on Affirm. So we did take a bath there, but then we just took some longs, and it's going to look like a mess down here. But I mean, if you're listening to what Neil and I are saying, We're buying these bottom. Like, I got wicked out there, but we literally got right back in the same price. So we did give up what we made there, but it's not the end of the world because now I'm longer, even much longer than I was before. So now 107 has some spots there. I think that's worth getting some out. So Affirm now starting to rip. So this is going to be a good trade for us, hopefully, as we are now long 104.57. It was just $2 in the money. Let's take another piece out for $2, and then we'll see if it goes all the way up to that 107, 108 mark, which isn't that high. I just think that, hey man, these drops keep on happening, and yeah, Affirm was not expecting this today. If you like the business, like I know you do, Neil, I don't know if you're in this name or.
I'm sick that I didn't take any profit last week. We were on the show, and actually, I think I said to one of the guys on the floor that I was looking for like something closer to 128 or 129, which was definitely being a little bit reckless. But you know, I don't know that I want to sell at these levels. Obviously, I can't anyways, but. I'll have to assess it after the show. At this point, it's more about the trade here. I just jumped back into it, and I just like forget it. I'm going to start scalping it, and I'm like, this 107 here, like you're holding this 105, but this 107 where it was clustered at the bottom looks like temporary resistance. So I actually just got half my position out in front of that 107 just in case this isn't necessarily the bottom. So let's see what happens with Affirm. If it breaks that 7, I think 9 to 10 might be the temporary target. There's enough selling in the overall market that I think it's putting a hamper on extending any gains, and at least the positive I'll say is like Alibaba, which was threatening breaking the high on me, has come all the way back down to that 163. So not getting more shares of Alibaba short turns out to have been the wrong decision, but I did already short it twice, guys. So let's just try to hang on to it.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see what to do here. I'm trying to get more long on Affirm as well. As AMC right now starting to go, man, $52 again. So there goes AMC. This is going to be a nice one for us, man. It always works if we do this. Where's the? I got to hit the apes because if you hit this ape thing, then apparently this just starts to go up. So let's do that for AMC right now and see if we can't get out another piece here. Just a high 52. I didn't even realize that went all the way to 52.20 there. That would have been a good win. So we'll see it getting some out above 52 as our average price now is 87 here for AMC. We want it to go higher than this, obviously, but we'll take some out if we can, as now Affirm, Neil, just dropping again, back down to 105 one more time there. So a good out for us at 106.50, but we just did average in more here. It takes out this 104, then it might be see you later, alligator, on that one as Affirm looking to go. And there goes AMC. We'll take out 40 cents there on that average price. So now we'll see, and I talked about this when we were down here. Let's see AMC go back to day's high. Here we go. AMC with the runner one more time. And let's just hope that when we get back from Brendan, that Affirm is near that 108 mark. That would be nice. Let's go to the big screen with Brendan.
Hey guys, yeah, 10 o'clock, quick update on how things stand. At this point, we are in positive territory outside of the composite NASDAQ, so down 0.08. The 100, though, still in positive territory. The Dow leading, the S&P up 0.4 to start things off. The Russell also just going negative as we speak here as well. Here in Toronto, we're higher on the TSX, but it has been pretty muted so far. Some of the mining stocks leading. Space, yeah, straight back to the downside here. We're coming into those levels that we were talking about on the daily chart. It is trying to bounce right now, but all kinds of volume for Virgin today, guys. It is down 5%. However, yeah, I was going to mention that AMC as well. Had an alert off of 51 there as I came up here. So trying to get back to day highs, guys, for AMC. Back over to you.
I definitely just looked a gift horse in the mouth on ATER. I mean, goodness gracious, it actually just put in a lower high. I did short on the way back down through that lower high, 1705 here. You know, put in a top 1765, wipe out bottom 1685. Was, I guess, some consolidation lower. It just went up to 1740, so that's the lower high that I'm mentioning. If it gets down below 1650, I'd probably start trimming and then look to get out in front of 16. This stock still seems pretty strong at this point. I don't even want to give it to the high of the day. I'll probably give it through that lower high and no further than that, because at the end of the day, there's definitely enough moving here. When you're trading in one of these, like, I guess, potential halt style stocks, it does sort of take your attention away from being able to manage some of the bigger ones here. And Virgin Galactic, speaking of, Virgin Galactic just bounced hard. So we got the breakdown. I haven't added to this thing just yet, but it just got the breakdown through that 23.70 or 80 area, which was the multi-day low. Goes like 10 pennies and then rips back into the upside here. So if we don't break this low, this could be one of those like days where Virgin Galactic has all the signs of falling off a cliff and somehow manages to catch a bid without any kind of positive catalyst, which we've certainly seen before.
Yeah, Virgin Galactic. That one's just nuts. I'm going to take a little bit out here at 106 if I can get it for us here on Affirm. We're in the money now. We're in the money about $1 if we can get this 106. We're long at 104.90. You guys have seen that. It's bouncing around too much for me. I do think that at some point you got to switch up your game to a little bit of the scalp side of things. And I don't like taking, I mean, look, $1 on a $100 name is still 1%. I mean, you cut that up and you do that every single day. There's 230 trading days or something. You're doing pretty good. But again, you have more than 1% losses all the time. So that math doesn't necessarily work all the time. So we're going to take out a piece there if we can get it. Looks like we will in about a second. Hopefully, if that can rip up, we will take a piece out there. There goes NEO. We just got some out. I was about to talk about that. We were able to get something out there before this drop happened as well. So NEO and Apple both come out with they're both going to be losers on the board, but they're very, very small losers. As I just don't want to hold this. The Nasdaq's turned red on us there, right? And so that's part of the problem there. So, and then there goes Affirm to the downside. We just missed that bid as well. Wow. Yeah, that was a bad one for Affirm. We missed that bid.
I'll say this one before we go to Brennan. We'll dap up ATER. I was able to get that first leg out here, that 1630 area. If it goes down to 16 even VWAP, we'll definitely take the rest out of it. Virgin Galactic might take a turn because the market heading back lower once again. So now it's a place to add. Brendo.
UROY. It's worth noting on Affirm, guys, there was no actual SEC filing on that, so a heads up. UROY, 26% here, another uranium name. Big volume spike there at all-time highs. 450 just got taken out.
Roy. Okay, so me and Neil just looked at each other and we have no idea what that means about no filing for this. Like, this is what I mean. Like, what is going on with Affirm right now? Look, we'll continue to do this on the upside there and just see where we go, because right now Affirm looking like it wants to do something. And what do you guys, hold on a second here, open this in a new window. What do you think of this lamp? My wife just sent this to me. We are redoing our whole area because we have the new TV coming, hopefully on time for this Thursday, but here we go. Oh, only $80? Okay, yeah, she's at HomeSense right now. So that looks a nice lamp. I actually kind of like that one with the shine.
Yeah, that looks cool.
Yeah, okay, I'll tell her that's cool.
Where's that going?
In our main area there. We've changed things around because I had this big beastly TV coming very, very soon. Okay, so yeah, I'll tell her yes on that. So there goes Affirm. We just took another piece out there at 105.50. We averaged in at 104.50. This is getting very, very close to me getting out of this. I don't know if it's going to be the right decision or not.
Oh, Salesforce.
But I don't want this one to hit. Salesforce is tanking as well. That's not too bad, but still a nice move.
No, but look at the levels, man. It's just... Sorry, no, apologies. Someone just typed in Salesforce. I'm like, I pull up the chart and it's like, oh my goodness, that's a good level. This 250, 50 period. You can't pick bottoms everywhere, because you just saw what happened in Tesla for me. I thought we had a great level at that 21, and then that got ticked out at the low of the day. Affirm is up, threatening to the downside, but CRM, I like this stock, man. This feels like a buying opportunity at 250. But you know, when the market's moving like this, we just turn red on the NASDAQ. That's not always the time to sit there and panic. You want to sit back, not sit back, relax, and sip a cognac, not any of that nonsense, but give some time for this market to settle down. It is 10:05, and the NASDAQ's down 0.2%. Really, it's 150 points here. It's not exactly a ridiculous amount, but there are some values in here. But this Affirm, and this is sort of, I know we're talking about this a lot, but this is the biggest retracement. Like, it hasn't moved like this downside since April, and you look at what it's trying to do at this 105 level. And the reason I'm stopping out if 104 breaks is because I just feel like there's a heck of a lot of air. Like, this is still $1 away from that bottom that we're looking at 105. But if we get through that, like, you're really talking about 100 here. Right? And I don't want to be holding this thing, you know, like $7 against me. So I just took it out there at the low of the day. We'll sort of lick our wounds. Buying the dip was pretty fantastic most of the way down, but you had to be taking your profit. I don't know that I did it aggressively enough. If it gets to $100, it'll be hard not to sneak a buy in front of 100, which feels like it could be coming.
And attention, anybody that bought Litecoin, apparently a fake. So Walmart will not be accepting Litecoin. The official Litecoin Twitter handle, I guess, deleted this. This is a couple seconds ago. So yeah, it looks like it's going to the downside right now. So yeah, that's not going to be a good sign for anybody holding Litecoin as it goes up to 245. I did buy some. It looks like apparently I got some about 200. So we're flat right now on LTC. But anyways, you know, where there's smoke, there's fire. That's what I believe. So we'll see if that's going to be happening. And that just goes to show you that, you know, any sort of a tweet, like I keep saying, any sort of a tweet is very similar to Virgin Galactic, can send some of these unknowns Crazy. Oh, here we go. What's going on? This is the low now on space. Why am I not short? This is a level that I want to be short at 2380.
It broke that level. I got the short in there, and then I waited until, and like obviously,
I'll take it.
I waited as we bounced into the upside to hit my shot. It held a lot lower, higher low. I said we'll get some more shares, and I did get some more shares there at the 24 levels. My average price is 92. I'm gonna take some out at this bottom of the day here. It's only about like 30, like a third of the position that I'm gonna take out because I just think there's air below with the market weak. I mean, Virgin Galactic with bad news. I mean, we've been waiting for it to make this break for a while to at least test 20 and then become a hopeful like long-term buying opportunity in the teens. Maybe today is the day. I'm kind of feeling like it is. I no longer have any long positions because you saw what happened to Tesla. You saw what happened to Affirm. ATER, which was, I guess we'll call it a mixed experience with the short trade because I moved my stop in. It's still looking like it wants to give you an opportunity both for dip buys and scalping shorts, whichever one happens to be your preference. But I'm going to step away from this one for the short term. I had moved my stop to break even. So yeah, maybe that's close to a top wick for the move, but I can always jump back into it a little bit later. Don't want to be throwing away profits. And I'm seeing that 103 now, 103 half on Affirm. 100 could be coming pretty quickly. Brendo.
Just heads up on this Walmart Litecoin story, guys. This is an actual press release I can show you from the Senior Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer of Walmart Corporation saying that this is an actual thing, this partnership with Litecoin. So yeah, just be careful both directions. So I just wanted to make sure everyone knew that. 9:30 that came out.
Walmart's
again, the Senior Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer, that is a statement from Walmart saying they are. So take that for what it's worth.
Okay, so we'll just go back over to Litecoin right now. And Litecoin apparently having a problem understanding that tweet, or nobody cares anymore. A big move up to 250, a big move back down to 190, 180 there. And now you're kind of just bouncing around one more time. But remember, we started the day here at 170 for LTC. So I believe, like I just said, I'll say it again and again and again. I got out of my Affirm as well as that kept going down. We took some good shots on that today. I don't have any problems with doing that here. This is a daily chart for Litecoin, and okay, how do I go to the forward move here? I'll just move like this. There we go. So here's Litecoin, already off 100, and then it didn't make a nice battle. I mean, we saw Ethereum and everything double up on this same spot. So Litecoin, it wouldn't surprise me if we went back to 170 here. Like, this is the base for Litecoin, right? So I don't think there's any problems there. You do get that move up. It's got some consolidation. I mean, whether or not you go back to the highs of Litecoin or not, I think it's well worth the risk. We're 10 cents in the money now on SPCE.
And now Virgin Galactic goes to the downside. It's like it's finally starting to make a bigger move. And like I said, I took some out in front of that low only because we were adding on that rollover. But now I think we can definitely hold on to it. I'm going to go to the 15 minutes just so you can kind of see the perspective here of that double bottom. But if you think from that bottom to top here, this is the breakdown was at 24.25 here, at least pre-market low break. It's about 50 cents to the downside. When it travels another 50 down from that low break, it'll be around those quarters. So I'm not really looking at 50s. I'm looking more at the quarters for the next out here on Virgin Galactic. So we'll hang on to some of this short, see if we don't have the bottom. Well, so see if we don't have the good direction here on Virgin Galactic, and I will jump back into Affirm at some point. If it gets to 100, I just think it made a heck of a lot of sense to get out of it. We tried all the bottom picking. It was pretty good on the way here, and then ran into a wall at 112, and then ran into a wall at 108, and then 107, where again we said we'd take some profit out. And then just had to give up. At some point, the trend is too strong into the downside. And to not have been shorting it, I kind of feel like maybe I got too much of a bias in me and I didn't short this stock for whatever reason. But that's come and gone. 100 or bust for the long for me on Affirm.
I like that. I like that or bust.
Or I just won't do it.
Yeah, so if we get down to there, we'll wait. What Affirm's doing. AMC right back in now again. Good thing we did take some of that profit. We basically got the high move there, up to 52.10 or so. Out now, we're going to see if we can't base out one more time right around here. Looks like a good base. Should have stuck a bid in there, man. Where's my bid on AMC? 51.10. So we didn't get down there. We got to 51.30. That should have been taken, and we will look at that one more time here as, I'm still, like, my eyes are going to be on Litecoin, and no, I can't buy some for you, sterling silver, anybody like that. I don't know how that works exactly. But I mean, I guess I probably could. But right now, 192, 187, still making some moves to the downside here on LTC. So again, I tweeted that thing out last week. Remember when it was like, certain amount of moves there? You just had Litecoin move there. 25, 30% on that news, from 170 up to 250 and now back. So remember we were saying like hold my brandy, it was? No, it was cognac? No, sherry. Sherry was confirmed by one of the viewers there on that picture. So we'll wait to see where that's going now. But I'm just looking to see if there's any other names. Any from a mover from last week. Look at that CEI, man. That was a mover last week as well. And now you're seeing this, the downside, down 16% and still trying to go. Of course, this is Camber Energy coming through now, down on the 1 minute chart and not looking good here. The 10 minute also breaking lower right now. So Camber was a high flyer last week. And now things moving around for them as well. So CEI to the downside. Tesla cracked now 7-Eleven right now.
Yeah, it's starting to get ugly on
Yeah, I know you're looking at that one. And then ATER, wow. We were long that, and I guess not long enough. We hit it early right there. A nice trade for me for sure. One of my top stocks today, actually, ATER, as we got out for about $1, and then it ripped up another 2.
Yeah, I'm thankful that I got out of that Tesla, certainly when it broke that. And again, you have to have a support level. You buy in front of it, you take a shot, but you have to have an out. It's the same thing shorting. If you go counter trend, you better have an out. That's where things start. When you trade counter trend, 100%, well, all trades should start with where am I wrong? At least I think they should, because that way you can have some discipline on the way down here. And if Tesla continues further than this, you can look back to 700. It's up above the 50 period, but there has been support and it was resistance turning into support at that 700 level in Tesla. If we get there, that's going to be too juicy to ignore. Brennan just pointing out that Procter at all-time highs. That's I love that name as a defensive name. We mentioned that probably a couple times in addition to Pepsi, which I'm probably not going to check out because I'm not too excited to be trading that. And I want to get to support because support has found support at $19. So that's about as bad a pun as you are ever going to see, but we had to give it to you anyways because it was too low-hanging fruit. Now it's just broken. It broke down to this 19. That is another, I guess, higher low. It was flushed to 1750 last week. On Tuesday, then the following day put in a higher low at about 1850, 1860 or so. It's trying to make a bit of a bounce here off of that level or in front of that level again. To me, the overwhelming trend still clearly to the downside. I don't like the long unless if you're going to get back above and maybe hold above this like 2050 to 2075 area, I think that can set you up for something going into the high of the day. It might just be a fade in front of these levels here because if we broke out at about 2040, 2050 going back into Wednesday last week. So I kind of see that level as if you can't chew through that at least, then it's probably a short into it. So that's what I would think about support. I'm not going to be trading it for now. I'm going to be going back over to Virgin Galactic. I'm eyeballing Tesla. It's at 700, holding that Alibaba. Still looking. Of course the firm's at 107. Of course you are a firm. I said wait for 100. It goes to 102, and I don't actually get that trade. But Virgin Galactic now starting to pop back up a little bit. So I'm going to try reloading. It's still in that downward trend. I'm going to probably try to reload in front of 24 even if I can get it. But I'm kind of kicking myself over a firm. Right? Yeah. Like I could have started that at 102, maybe 102 half, and then worked it all the way down to 100. Instead, I said 100 or bust. Like I got to get it right in front, and that's going to cost me a little bit here because now the bounce is in. I still think there's that resistance 0708, and we'll see if that remains.
Yeah, I don't know how I picked these prices, but I'm at 23.56 on space to get out of that first short, at least half of it. I know why, it's 20 cents. So that's why we took that, we're trying to take that 20 cents there. And then we miss it by 2 cents. So now we have to average in. We're gonna watch out for space because if it takes out the top here, then we don't wanna be in this name anymore. The market has fallen back down. And what I mean about space and taking out the top is sort of this area right here, like 24.20-ish. Maybe is going to be a little bit of a problem. So yeah, if we take out 24.20, we got to get out of space right now. I don't know where it's going to go, but we'll have to wait to see what happens now. 24.20, we want to average into that, but that's going to be an out spot around there anyways, 24.30, something like that. I just don't want to hold it if it comes all the way back up. But I think we have to average into something there, and that should be hard to do that. AMD, we did like the long break on this today. I wrote down if we got up there 107 on the sticky note today for AMD. So we didn't get there. It was cruising around. That was good. It was building a nice base. It's too bad we didn't want to go short because that short break was the same as the long break. That short at 105 would have given you a pretty sweet, cover to the bottom there all the way down to 103. Now I don't mind this break of 104, but now we're trying to build off the bottom here. So what about a base rate here that might be something 103.20, 103.25? 325, something like that here on AMD, could break higher. So, you know, that's something that I'm looking for here, especially if the market goes. You know, we've fallen on Apple a little bit. Again, this is a flat trade for me. We should have taken them all out there. But again, like one out there, and then this hit is the same as that, right? So we split the difference there on Apple, and then we take one last long on AMC before 50-50 or so, and then we'll wait to see if 50 cracks AMC. Nice movements to the upside, but now we're stuck on this trade right here.
Yeah, I thought I'd be trading AMC a little bit more today now that you bring it back up, and I still have my bids from the morning in case it cracks down towards that 50 level. So I'm just going to try to be patient with it at this particular point and go revisit Alibaba here. It's just getting range bound in BABA, so we've already taken this range twice. And I'm talking like 164.5 down into like 163.5. So I've already done this a couple of times. You know, at this point, it's going to be the longer hold. We'll just hang on to this. If it breaks 65, we're out. If it breaks the low of the day, we'll consider getting more shares out of this trade. And then, you know, LPTX is not doing a heck of a lot. But I do want to come back to this ATER, because if you're looking for something outside of, you know, we just talked about Procter, which was at all-time highs. But if you're looking for something that's strong, this ATER, and this is why I put the tighter stop in, the trend is still forming to the upside. This isn't setting up for a very clean top break, because you have, you know, like 17, you got 17 quarter, you got 17, you know, 40 is a double low, lower high, and you got 1765, which is the random top that the stock is put in. So it's not super, super clean. Even on the daily chart, these levels, like 17 is a little bit of something. There's a heck of a lot of air up to like a 20 to 21 area, certainly for ATER. So I think there's a chance it has room to go if it breaks the high. There's just no obvious clean break. You know, the way I would sort of look at that is if you look at the bottom end of these ranges, go back to the minute chart so you can kind of see. If you look at the bottom end here for all these these pullbacks, a lot of the volume is sort of hanging around this 1665 to 1675. So if you were to take like a 40 or 50 break, you could give it like 60 or 70 pennies, and then that way you still have like a 2 or a 3 to 1 risk to reward ratio. I'm letting it level off. I want to see some volume start to come back into this. Volume has been tapering off, as you guys can see here, as it makes this bit of a wedge. If it falls like a rock, watch for it to resist potentially a halt if it tries to drop 10% in one move.
Oh man, yeah. So Virgin Galactic still trying to make some moves here back to the upside. We're going to short 24.31. I know we've talked about that. Just want to bring it up to everyone's attention. 24.30 is going to be our out. Yeah, people saying crypto's dying right now. Yeah, I mean, that's not a great report, man, for them to sort of get the rug pulled under you. I think that, I don't know if they're dying or not. I just think that, when this all started, Ethereum was like 3,200, ripped up to 3,400 on that news, and now you're basically right back. This is a 5-minute chart, so even if we do a 1-minute chart, hopefully you could see a little bit here on a 1-minute. So up to 33 now, right back in. We're kind of still at these levels. This may be a good spot to pick some up, but right now, yeah, those of you trading crypto, you don't really want to be long. You'd rather be short with some stuff that's happening right now. And again, on the show, it's very, very hard for us to sit here and talk exactly about crypto because there's so much happening on the background. So we're going to have to find out more about that. But right now, I think it's small cap recap with Brendan at the big screen. A name we haven't really traded yet.
It's worth noting, guys, on that Walmart thing, CNBC talking that it might be a fake as well. I don't see why there would be a statement from the actual company, but yeah, the story continues. We mentioned this one, Blue, right before the opening. This high on the daily chart was $5 even. So we got above it initially up to 550. As soon as it retook 5, there was a huge offer that showed up, just kept slamming the bid. Keeping it below 5. So once it got down to 430, it was interesting. There was 30,000 shares on the NASDAQ book at 430. As soon as that got out of the way, I think they actually printed it. You can see this went 430 down to 340, all in one big flash. So BLU still on the way to the downside there. BBIG was the other one I was looking at. Obviously weak right at the gate here. Got back below this low from Friday initially, so I was just using that low, and then we're down to 960. Pretty quiet otherwise, guys, for small caps today. Back to you.
I'm going to say congratulations.
Congratulations!
There we go.
To anybody that actually got that break on ATR, so I hope somebody caught it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I wasn't aggressive enough with my stops. I mean, that's clearly the case. I know that's the case. Sometimes you have to be really aggressive. I don't use market orders pretty much ever. It's always an aggressive limit order, so my breakout did not get a fill. It got to 1896. What it looked like to me was, because that clean break was about almost 10%, so it looks like it resisted a halting to the upside before pulling back. It just kind of feels like the stock will go so far as to not halt and then pull back in, and then you have to wait for the next move. That's what I was hinting at. If it actually had fallen to the downside, if it resists a halt, that would be a good way to buy it on a dip. Clearly, it went the other way. I'm looking back to that 1740 for maybe a consolidation buy in front of it. That kind of stinks. Alibaba almost close to that break-even point, and of course, the firm is doing what you know it would do, the wipeout bottom after we gave up on it, and now trying to chew through that resistance at 107, 108 that was there before. There was still that 112 level, which does come into play, guys. Pretty wild morning so far. Now we're down 0.4% on the NASDAQ, so there's quite a lot of movers today.
Yes.
One of them, meme stock, you're talking about AMC there, Sean. But just an update. I don't know if we mentioned this. Maybe we did, maybe we didn't. Memes and movers is going to 2 o'clock. So yeah, on a little bit longer. Trader Prad and Ms. V will be around a heck of a lot longer today. We're extending that one for you guys, so up to 2 p.m. Today. So you get a heck of a lot more. We're going to be gone at 11. We're taking memes and movers, and then you get a lot more trading on the overall market. Just to jump back over, because I have to manage this position, it's Alibaba. It's now testing that 165 area. You know, at this point, the market is still looking relatively weak. I said I wasn't going to take any more shares. I'm sticking to that. If it breaks 165, I'm out, and then I'm looking for a short off of the high of the day. Virgin Galactic is sort of testing that 24 quarter mark. Not quite there yet, 24.20-ish. So 24.25 was pre-market lows. If it gets there, that could be a place to average in.
What's up, Bren?
Here's the headline, guys. They have confirmed. Yeah, no deal with Litecoin. So fake news, fake statements, fake press releases, lots of fakeness going on between Walmart and Litecoin, it would appear.
Yeah, I want to say thank you to, who was that in the chat there? Angel, you want me to go beyond until 2 p.m.? Nah. Neil and I, we need to have some breaks. So that's why Memes and Movers and Pratt is killing it for you guys every single day. So I'm very excited about the move to Memes and Movers now getting more airtime. And that's exactly what we want here at Trader TV Live. And of course, Memes and Movers obviously affiliated with us. So we're going to watch that to go to the upside. You won't believe this AMC, like, this is how I know it's not just going to be, I mean, it's still going to be a fantastic day, but I was waiting at 50.75. It went to 50.76. Like, I mean, you know, when that happens to you, man, sometimes that's just horrible luck, but that would be $1 in the money now. We don't have that. Otherwise, we would be Rip City here to the upside. I don't know if Valeria's going to come with this review of our trades, but I'm going to give it to you anyways. We're getting long in the tooth here. DraftKings, guys, was a name that I said to sell on Friday. And, you know, here you're seeing a big movement to the downside today. And again, it's kind of that whole thing where you buy the news, buy the rumors, sell the news. You know, I thought that DraftKings was a little overextended. You know that I've rotated out of this name a little bit at $62. It didn't look like a great move when it went up to $64 on Friday, but it's looking okay now. So, you know, back down to $60 here, coming back in. So there's the move back down. And again, why did we sell it? We talked about it. Again, we are just into this area right in here where I just thought that we got a little top heavy. We had a nice rally back in the summertime on DraftKings. We did fade it out here into, you know, off of some of these sports, you know, into what I thought was a lull for gambling in the summertime. And now I think that, you know, with that kind of a move to the upside from 46 to 62, sometimes you got to pair off some profits. And that's what we did with DraftKings. Whether or not it's going to be right or not, who knows? But that was sort of my logic there. And now you're getting this back in. I'm a buyer of DraftKings again into the low 50s, but that was one there that we wanted to look at. And I wanted to review that today. So DraftKings all the way to the downside.
And still, you know, now through that wall in a firm there, guys, it's up to 109. Like 112 was another place. And again, you notice he's a heck of a lot more when you're if you're trading and you were getting shares out when it was at like 111, 112 in this range, you could sort of see there were sellers, and it was the same thing, this 107, 108 area. So let's see what happens. Obviously, it's made the wipeout bottom, and we don't have it anymore to the long side. Kind of regretting that now, but you got to move on to the next trade there, guys. And that ATER, it just went to 19. Double topped at least here at 1910, the current high. But this pullback is still pretty muted. I kind of wanted this to be, wait for it to halt, allow it to make a move into a halt, and then we'd have a halt trade on ATER. The levels when it came to the higher time frame, I was looking at 20 bucks. So I'm going to back off. If it goes to 20, then that's a level I'd step in front of without it needing to halt. Unfortunately, it has not done that yet. Just to check back in on Tesla, because this market is still at those lows, and Tesla was bouncing towards 700. It has now made its own low, so Affirm bounces without me at 100. Tesla bounces sort of without me. Got a little bit of a win here on that 720 level because we took some profit. Tesla bouncing at 708, relatively weak, I want to say, because obviously down that 2.5%. And we showed you Moderna. We didn't show you Pfizer, which is down at that 44.50 level. So Pfizer looking pretty juicy. It's right at that 50 period, that pullback. This is 44.50, exactly almost on the dime to where this thing checked up when it first tried to take that 46 level. This was obviously, this is the 41 breakout that took you right into that 46 high. The consolidation was to 44.50. That is the level that is being tested right now as the market is weak. And like I said, an interesting place to pick up some Pfizer. Can't do it because we're live on the show.
So we did it, yeah, exactly. And again, that's how we operate here. We don't want to be putting any trades into our accounts while we're on the show, just to show you, that we're trading this legitly, and we're not here to pump stocks or take one, do anything like that. We're here to trade price action and give you guys hopefully some entertainment, and at the same time put some money in everyone's pocket, including our own. And that's what we're going to try to do one more time right here, as now we're at 50.80. So again, I'll just publicly state the price. I'm trying to go long at 50.80 here. If it comes back down, that's great. I mean, I would wait for 75 again, but last time apparently that was the magic sauce, so we didn't get any longs down there at 75, so we'll wait a little bit earlier down there at 50.80 and see if we can get that. It looks like for now that 24.30s held, so we did average in, do a short here into space. Now we're short just slightly under $24, which we've liked. This one I missed by a cent as well down here, so we'll see if we can't pick some up. But now my average price is nicely in the middle, so we'll see if that can be a winner. But with from one winner hopefully to another. Brendan, give us some more names, bud.
Just checking on Ocugen, guys. Ocugen just popping up here on volume. So they're a partner with that COVID-19 maker from India. So it could be vaccine related. But anyways, back to the top end of the range here, up 8%. You can see volume just coming in here for OCGN.
Yeah, $8. Of course, it's been that wall. Like Ocugen has been basically barcoding, which for those of you that don't know barcoding, that just means trading sideways. Kind of like the stock resembles a barcode when you look at the chart. And you see the 15-minute basically showing you the same thing. Now, it's at the lower high right now, which is 780. You would anticipate that that's where the move would stop, if not at 8 even. If this is going to have any juice, it's got to hold the 750 level, at least through lunchtime. I like these things if they can sort of put in a higher low, like especially if it fails at that 780 or 8, which it looks like it's doing in the short term here. If it can hold the breakout price, which would have been pre-market high 750, pull the higher low as well, consolidate up here, I think that sets you up for a break in the afternoon. That's what you want to see here. The volume is okay, but it's not through the moon. The volume that I'm seeing in Ocugen here, and it is starting to taper off, so I'd expect maybe a test of that 750 level. Just to go to one, I think we talked about uranium for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, what was it, Cambridge?
I don't know. So yeah, the CCJ, they're actually pulling back. It ends up breaking what was the top, which was this pre-market high 26, and gives you a failed break, and then starts to come back in. A lot of times, this can be the sellers finally getting in control of something. So I'm looking at this and saying after the the crazy moves that it has had from these bottoms, it could turn into a bit of a sell here. It's just broken recently the pre-market low here at 25 1/4. maybe if it pops up, and I know I'm kind of doing the same thing in Virgin Galactic, that's shorting a bottom. This one would be doing a reversal at the top. If it gets anywhere close to this 25.50 or VWAP and cannot get through, I'd be looking to turn into a shorter on this CCJ just because of the price action. At some point, these parabolic movers do turn around, and that can be a good day for day traders if you're looking the other way. Brendan?
One just at day highs here, guys, just popping up on volume as well. Smile Direct Club up 10%. Don't see anything significant on this, but nice little mover here. Volume came in just after 9:50, so I'll double check on SDC making a run as well. In the meantime, let's get a check on how things in Europe are shaping up. Almost done for the day over there, Miss V. What's up?
Hey Brandon, European markets are mostly positive. Valneva trading in Paris is down more than 40% after the British government ended a COVID-19 vaccine supply deal with the company. Back to you.
Yeah, just checking on Smile Direct Club, guys. Don't see anything yet, though.
Smile Direct back in play.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm overall like a lot of these stocks, man. I mean, if you want to short some of these names, just at your peril, because I mean, people are just picking these stocks to go, and I mean, it's great for us because generally we're long names, right? And so so far so good on SDC, but again, it's not really even. I mean, let's let this load up. You're going to see big volume spike come in here on SDC. It's not even that huge of a volume spike. It started to go early, and we talked about some of the short interest. And I think that as long as that is in play, then these stocks are going to start to run. SDC. We want to talk about Life as well. I mean, another name here, another pharma name starting to go up, and I see everybody talking about Life on the chat as well. And again, this is just going to go back. Come on, SDC. Oh, come on. Let's go. This is ATYR Pharma. We've talked about this again. And although on ATER, we looked at some higher time frames there, and ATR was Mohawk. It was up to 40, 50 bucks before. So there is room to run on that. When I look at something like AYTR here, which is Life, or ATYR Pharma, we've only been to $8 twice. And so that is a good little top there, 710. So you may want to think about getting something out there if it does go through. But for right now, Life, I mean, at this level, not so bad. You're bouncing around a little bit. I mean, good bottoms here again being made. And it's just, we're getting on that time now where it's 10:30. Some of these names might not bounce too much more into the rest of the day. We've seen action happen around lunchtime, then again at late. So I would say let some of these settle down. And if you can get this back near $6, that's not bad. There goes Space, just took it out. We'll go a little long now on SPCE. But that one was flushed down the toilet as that's not working out. And then right now, AMC's right at 50-50. So let's see where we go from here. What's up, Brendo?
There was some positive data on a trial from that Life, guys, ATYR. It was where to go? Pulmonary sarcoidosis trial that came back with positive data. So heads up there.
And still going is Ocugen. So it breaks that 8 even. Probably should just put a stop. Why am I always thinking dip buy? Always thinking dip buy. And then it breaks that 8 even. Now you're essentially in a real jailbreak because you got levels here probably at like $9, which does give you an opportunity. I mean, now I like a pullback into 8 now that I think about it. So I'll look for an 8 pullback if I can get it on Ocugen. It might be just gonzo. Someone was saying, I saw in the chat, Ocugen might halt. This is a stock that tends to have enough liquidity to resist those moves. Like, it's heavily day traded enough that when it gets close to those prices, a lot of people start taking profit, not wanting to hold longs into a halt. So these bigger scalpers will essentially get out of shares, which will stall the move, and then you don't end up getting a halt on a parabolic move. That 10% is a lot in a short time frame. So we'll look to 9 even. I just thought after it was just consolidating at 830. I'm like, yeah, it might pull back into 8 for a bit of a dip buy. I can't chase along up here at 850. That seems crazy if 9 is going to be the level up. I am still looking at Tesla as I wait for that to get to that 9 even. And Tesla, it just bounced. The market tried to make a bounce as well. The NASDAQ is now hunting back towards the lows. So I don't think I'm going to be bottom picking on Tesla at this moment. It's a nice bounce off 708, but it feels like maybe the market isn't done downside.
Yeah, maybe. So we're going to go long. We're going to try to bottom pick Softy here at 55 or 50s. What am I long at? 56, 55. So yeah, I mean that bottom right there of 294. If that holds, great, but it may not. Look at the NASDAQ right here. Just trying to base out right now. So again, Microsoft being down the same as the NASDAQ. Let's see if we can pick it up here. Apple's has its own news behind it right now, so we'll stick with Softy and see if that one wants to go. It just did go for us about 10 cents, but we're gonna wait just for an even 249 or so. Not much on the daily or the 10-minute. I mean, it's been negative. You have now 6 straight days of negativity in the market. That hasn't happened. I don't know if we can get that stat fast enough, but that hasn't happened in a hell of a long time, 6 straight negative days. So we'll see if it can hold. But again, we're not going to use the daily chart. We're just going to use 294 flat here and then just try to hold that and average one more time at this low, average one time into this low. And then if it doesn't hold 294, we're going to get out. But right now, Softy looks like it's trying to battle back a little bit here. So that could be a good play for us. Let's see if it goes.
Absolutely, guys. And just to check back in on one name that was strong, just pull back $1 as the market, sort of pulling back in as well. Overall, Procter & Gamble holding a 146. And sometimes there's a big cap and you want to identify relative strength or relative weakness. There's relative strength over in this name. And if you look at, and I didn't do this the first time, and apologies for not going to the higher time frame to quickly show you that this is the breakout that is happening over in Procter. So some money going into a safer name, which A, I like, but B, provides with a potential opportunity because I think it's a defensive name, but you have something which is making a break towards at least a 150 level. If it does make consolidation this week, I think there's a decent chance we make a look at that 150. I'll go this for Virgin Galactic because every single time I'm like, yeah, this is it. This is when Virgin Galactic, this is the day. Yeah, it's going to break that low.
Yeah.
It's going to come down to 20s. This is going to be that you can now buy and hold it long term. You've been waiting for this instead of buying consolidations here. And then what did it do? It decides to go the other way. So I got in, took more at 24, took more at the 20 level. It just took out this high here. So I'm going to walk away from Virgin Galactic and we'll flush that one down. There we go. Actually hit the flush down the toilet. Flush that one down the toilet. And the real frustration for me, though, is going to be a firm. And there's almost like any way you put it, you try to pick bottoms on this one. I did dip out altogether when it broke 104 for that second time. The wipeout bottom came at 102. Now you're getting consolidation above that 107, 108 seller. It still has a chance to maybe get to 112, where gut would tell me there's still some sellers at 112. It is short sell restricted, so you can't actually hit bids unless you get an uptick. But we could get into that 112 level where it looks like a bit of a fade there, guys. And Brendan just bringing this one to my attention. TKAT. So the NFT names on the move as well as that just spiked into 10 even, up now 11%. So we got this moving. You have Akigem, which continues to race to the upside. Overall, the market weak, but you've definitely got some high flyers, some memes and movers, should I say.
You shall. I mean, where would I ever go if I wanted to watch memes and movers? I mean, we have 20 minutes until memes and movers live. But we're doing this, man. Let's go. Let's just fly in here on their own private jet, and hopefully that doesn't happen to us as we, well, you know what? If that ever does happen, hopefully we land on our feet right there, because Microsoft right now allowing us to do exactly that, guys. 255 out, some 298s, 294s. We took out a little bit at 75 there, a little bit at 80, and then now we're taking it out at the even dollar. So, hey, man, this is 50 cents right now as the bulls start kicking. We talked about the NASDAQ maybe making that bottom end. We are back, and we're back with a vengeance right now. Let's take out some Virgin Galactic here for that win. We did reverse it to the long side, so play some momentum to the upside right now, as this is a 20-cent winner. Softy's a 40-cent winner, and AMC's trying to battle back here off of a nice take at 50.50 up to 50.90 right now. We're only 6 cents out of the money now on AMC. But Brendan at the big screen is looking a little mixed out there. I don't mind. I don't mind.
Hey guys, yeah, we are still positive. I'll show you here in a second, just 0.25% for the S&P to the upside. We were talking about energy stocks here in the pre-market. Yeah, big positive day for the entire group. All of them, in fact, in positive territory. Marathon, Apache, and Oxy leading the way. 6.25 up to about 7.5%. To the upside for Marathon there today, the winner by far. Healthcare stocks, on the other hand, to the downside. Moderna, almost 6% lower on the day. PKI, Bio, to name a few there. There are some positive names in the equipment makers, but overall the healthcare sector is negative. Banks are positive, helping to offset as well some mixed names here in the consumer discretionary group. I was talking about some positivity in travel names. They are here. NCLH, Marriott, LVS, MGM, RCL, all in positive territory, up about 2% right across the board. So some of the travel names, but consumer durables and some of the apparel makers all in negative territory today, offsetting those gains and then some. Industrials are higher. Communication stocks outside of Twitter down 4% on the day today. The rest of that group, though, pretty positive. Consumer staples as well. And real estate stocks in the corner also positive. But healthcare stocks, consumer discretionary and tech offsetting an otherwise positive performance, about 0.2 for the S&P, guys. Back to you.
And speaking of upside, a firm back at 111, so that's come back up.
111?
Yeah, exactly. ATER back down to 17, so that's pulled back $2. But look, this thing has managed to at least hold every single dip. This is easily the biggest one. This is around where that consolidation break happened, where we missed that breakout trade. When we did have it short, it did stall here around like 1630 or so, which happens to be VWAP. So I kind of want to look at this level as we pull back towards 30 to 50. And then, front of the mind is going to be this 112 here on a firm. I want to make sure that we're taking advantage of, the lessons that we learned sort of on the way down here, where there was a lot of selling in this 111 to 112 range. If it does start to check up here, and I just saw someone messing around on the bid on a firm. When I say I see someone messing around on the bid, where is it? You see that? Yeah. So someone just stacking the bid here. They're actually taking this fill. So sometimes that'll be fugazi, and it's just someone placing bids and pulling them. In this particular case, like someone's actually looking to take those fills, so they're aggressively buying into some strength here on a firm at 111, 112. Certainly the volume trying to pick back up. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can kind of see that. The volume trying to pick back up. All of the big volume was on that big flush where we were buying the dips, and then it really tapered off. It's picking back up here. This 112 I feel is resistance. At least it was on the way down. So let's see if we can't try to get a little bit of a short in front of 112.50. I do want to be patient with it. I want it to slow down a little bit. See if we can't get less than $1 worth of risk, if at all possible. I know that's going to be tricky here on a firm, but this is the level we've been waiting for. Sitting it out since that flush out bottom, back to 112.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw Tesla as well. Tesla back to 725.
Really?
TSLA or 7. Hold on a second. 722. There's just been a lot of bounce back. Thank God we were able to catch that Microsoft. Microsoft was a nice one. We talked about that. But look at Tesla off that bottom 708 right there. Monster drops. This is what you got to expect when people get a little jittery with the market. These high flyers will continue to tank down. So hey, if it's not for you, I don't blame you. You got to have the stomach sometimes to trade. Longer term, easy to trade Tesla. You can just hold it. But if you're playing for swing trades or even day trades, very, very dangerous number. But it does drop into that 725 and then crack that. So no surprise there when that broke. I think it was very, very risky shorting anything up here. But again, if you're negative in the last, remember we had 5 straight negative days and Tesla making new highs there for the week. So, pull back down into Friday. And then now today that continues. Now you have the 725 as maybe a liftoff spot here if the market does want to get back to the upside. We did drop down on AMC here, and we were nicely taking profits when it went back, not profits, but getting out some for flat. We talked about that right when it happened, right? So we did get some out of AMC there at 50.90, and now we got right back in on this dip again into some of these. The pre-market lows already got broken, but this is Friday aftermarket right now into some of these areas. And then we do have that 50 washout bottom that happened right at the close. So we're going to see if we can defend that. We are still long here on AMC, battling back a little bit, getting a better average price. Our average price now 93, so we're 20 cents out. That's not horrible at all, but we'll wait to see if it wants to continue to make marches back to the upside. I don't know, man. We traded AMC a lot today. Initially there, out, so those were good. But right now we're waiting on this to pop one more time. Here it comes. We're back to flat again. What's up, Bren?
A few more comments from Walmart on that quote-unquote press release, guys. They're saying they're investigating and trying to learn more about that news release. So as that happened, we are drifting to day lows on Walmart, guys, but they're investigating this quote-unquote press release.
It's going to be a lot of haters, man.
Yeah, why don't they just investigate how to use Litecoin? Oh my God, I forgot this coffee. How long has this been sitting here? Thank you, Ms. B. That's been sitting here for like an hour and a half.
Literally an hour. Probably an hour, I would say.
Yeah,
but,
good thing.
Because
I almost did one of those comedic things where you just like spits it right up, and I figured like,
you don't want to
what
do
does
that.
that accomplish?
You really don't want to do that. That'd be a bad idea.
get
So I
that everywhere.
did get into a firm here. I got that 111.59. You'll see as my price. Probably going to take some out in front of a 110, and then see if we can't go lower. That 112 was just too juicy of a level when we were longing it.
That's where the
we take a
players
shot.
dwell, I think.
The 112 is where the players
Okay,
dwell.
good.
At least so I've heard.
Yeah,
I've
me
never
too.
actually.
I've only heard
I've
that
never
too.
been to room 112.
Yeah.
which-
I was invited there once, and then I got married, so that was a problem.
There you go. This is what happens, guys. That's why I'm not. You know what? I was about to say something about Vegas, but I'm not even going there because that'll put me in a bad mood. We'll tell that story at some point.
know what's
Maybe
not putting me in a bad
maybe in the
mood?
afternoon. But I want to go to this IRNT because this came out of nowhere. This stock from last week just made a $5 move up, but reversing off of Friday's high right here. I'm going to see how expensive it is to short because I'll probably be trying to short it around this 24 level.
And don't try to short AMC, because if you did that, you'd be in a mistake spot right now, because AMC just continues to go, man. We'll go diamond hands. Probably not. We're scalping it out. But hopefully we can get back to 51.50 here, which would be VWAP. And for me, that's a win-win for that trade there. Look at Softy. You want to talk about something that we're right now spitting the cash out on. Let's go. There it is. Oh, what? Wrong one. Nah. Nepa on Bear. We'll go, oops, we'll hit the wrong one again. Hey, what's up again? No, this one, we'll do this, because right now it's a big move up for Microsoft, up to $29.25 here, 29 cents, 25 cents upside now, giving us 70 cents in the money. We bought and picked Softy here nicely. We have basically the low of the day. Let's see if we can't get out right here. Oh, ooh, that went all the way up to 40s. Okay, here comes back. So a nice win there. And look at, go AMC, go! We'll hit the ape one more time as we're in the 20s now. Well, we were just in the 20s with AMC, 51.20 now, and still motoring, man. Another 50-cent winner. This was a big position. How many averages in we had?
And there we go with firm. We'll take a little bit of power up there. Short in front of 112. This is the thing. Like, you find a level like that, and you kind of, it's not about knowing that there's going to be sellers at 112. It's simply the fact that if you were trading this on the way down, you knew that there were sellers. You saw it every single time you're trying to get shares out. It just reversed around the same prices. Like, I'll show you on the 1 minute, because some of these are 1 minute candle wicks that are legitimate. Like, it bounced off of like 107 down here when it made this wipeout bottom at 106.50. And then just died, like dying quail. This is exactly at 112 on a 1 minute candle, and I was taking shares out in front of it. And then when it bounced again, the last time we went long, we were able to get some 110, then again tried to sell in front of 112, and it just could not break through. So this is the reason why I'm gonna always like a level like that for a scalp trade. I'm now going break even stop here. Well, not break even, I have 111.59 here. If it cannot go through, and again, look at this consolidation. This consolidation would be about 109.50. So I'm going to buy back in front of that 110. If it cannot break down to VWAP to give me a 109 exit point, no way this can turn into a losing trade at this particular time, because if 112 goes, then c'est la vie for me. And remember, we are day trading here. So a lot of these, it's not just the stops. Like, not every single trade is, I'm going to buy and hold this one forever. I'm shorting this one and holding it all day long. No, if you're playing off of a key level like a 112, am I allowing 112 to go and shorting it all the way to 115? Absolutely not. That wouldn't make a heck of a lot of sense. Well, I mean, I wouldn't think that makes a heck of a lot of sense. If it makes sense to somebody, well, I guess there's something for everybody. That would seem a little bit reckless to me, though.
Yes, and don't trade recklessly, just trade smart. And I mean, I think that's what's really helped me to continue to stay positive today on the positive side, considering we had that Affirm blowout there to the downside. But we just stay on some of these names, man. I mean, when they're starting to pop into some levels that you like, make sure you take profits like we just did right there. 51.13 out on AMC for 50 cents, out on Microsoft right now for $1. We're waiting for more than that here now, as we only have 20% left. That was a big out right there. We just got that at 50, so really, really happy with that one. What? Only 10 minutes to go before memes and movers, and it's about time for Brendan. What about
QCOM and VNE, you guys? There's a headline just coming across here on my platform is obviously going to be slow when I need it the most. Anyways, I'll tell you, $37 a share. So VNE, just seeing QCOM apparently interested in VNE at $37 a share. So a big pop there for that one.
Brendan, hey, what's up, Brendan? That's you. Neil and I talking about VNE, because I believe that was Magna.
Yeah, I was going to say Magna was buying
competing.
veneer.
It's in addition.
Okay.
In addition, okay. So there we go. So VNE. So again, more news on that name. Pay attention if you are an owner of VNE. I'm trying to pay attention to Microsoft right now as it's starting to go to the upside more and more and more. And that was a good long for us there as well. I don't even want to look at the Affirm chart, so I'm going to pass on that, because we should should still be hella long. ATER, just to review that one as well. Where is ATER? There it is. Ooh, nice one there. We'll walk on water as Softy ticks us out for the $1.20 right there on 10% of that position. So hell yeah, Softy going to the upside nicely there. But I did want to talk about ATER, and those of you that had that great trade on that earlier, man. I mean, I have basically the bottom there, 14, but we got out at 15.30 based on, you know, some of these movements. What was happening, it stopped at this 15, sorry, just in today, stopped at 15, came back down to about 15.01. Then when it came back up, we got out. We could have reloaded, but we did not. And now you're seeing what's happened with that one. Ethereum straight to the upside now, and now basing out one more time here. So getting ready to make one more run possibly. Even, I mean, one more, why not more than that? Breaking through 1750 may get you up to 19 one more time. So watch out for this one. Even 1730 might get us up there. Let's take a 17. Nah, let's not take it right now. Let's just watch this. It is basing out right now, but that's a good break if you liked it. 1730, hard to disagree. I mean, look what happened here. Base, the same thing. It cracked through 1750 and then went up. So you might want to watch out for 1750. That could be an area here on ATER, guys. AMC still 40 cents in the money, but coming back in a bit.
So there was one trade. I guess I shouldn't be surprised that Coinbase is on its lows. I did not fade this one, so you can chalk that one up to the miss. One of the reasons why it's worth having, you always have to have a plan of action. Sometimes it's just like things start, like Affirm came out of nowhere on us, right? So you have your best plan of action for all the stocks that we talked about on our watch list, and then Affirm happens, and then just so much volume, you had to be trading it. But a 240 double bottom here, we talked about that 250 level being key, and it was a fade off of this level. It gave you that look, basically spiking to 250 and giving that 930 reversal, which is like literally my favorite setup in the entire world. And I did not get it, so that one kind of stinks. But what doesn't is everyone's, well, some people's favorite segment, because it talks about crypto, and that is Money Talks with Brendan. Or everybody's out.
Hey guys, yeah, currency time. Let's have a look at the world of money. I threw Bitcoin back up here because we're trying to hold key levels right now. 44,000 for BTC. If you go out to a daily time frame, it is down 2%. Still, again, above 44,000 right now for Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple also down 1% and 2%. Otherwise, pretty quiet on the board so far today. The U.S. dollar at a 2-week high. The Fed coming the 21st of September. Remember, that's the one that everyone's anticipating. We're going to hear something about tapering. So mark that down on your calendar, the 21st. For apparently, I read this morning, they've entered media blackout. So no one's allowed to talk to the media until the 21st now. Canadian dollar notably higher today, 0.3, even with the U.S. dollar higher as well. So back to 79, guys, for the CAD. Back to you.
Here comes AMC right back to the upside. Yeah, crypto plays big time into people's wallets today, as it's been back and forth with both Ethereum. I don't have my water here. Both Ethereum and LTC and BTC moving around. Shiba, 80% down. Shiba's listed on Coinbase.
Is it?
I don't know. That was one of those Dogecoin kind of coins there, so I don't know if that's true. I heard something about Coinbase Pro, maybe not normal Coinbase, but
yeah,
it depends for you. It depends on what you guys are trading with. I don't know if you guys want to use Coinbase or not. Up to you. XOMT, we are not affiliated with any crypto, markets or anything like that, or exchanges. If you do know one, hit me up. Okay, AMC back to 51. We'll watch out for that one. There was a play I want to talk about, and I don't remember what it was now. DraftKings, no. Affirm, no. Some of you guys were talking about something now that I look at my board. I can't remember what it was. Vinco Ventures down. We'll look at Vinco Ventures right now quickly before we go. It's only 10:54. Microsoft, $1 in the money, man. We took that out. That was a nice trade. Oh, I know what it was. Brent talking about it on the chat there. And you guys are welcome, man. I mean, I talked about LVS. This was right at 840. This is what we started the show with. We talked about casino plays today, and that I thought that they were good to put into your long-term portfolio. How about 2% and a bit right there? Taking that off the open, $41 up to 43, so that was a good one. And then I said that I liked Win the best, but I still have more work to do before I actually step into one of these. But again, Win off the open, that's LVS, come on. Win off the open, the same very similar dip down low to 99 early, but you could have had that one at about 101 if you took it right off the open up to 103. 103. So it's not a huge move, but still 2% back into your pocket. As bye-bye AMC, let's start taking out the tops and let's get going on that one. And again, you know, I've already traded 109 fills today. AMC has a few of those on the board right now. It's rocketing up to one of my well, it actually is going to be my number one stock. No, Softy is, but AMC, Softy, and ATER, guys.
Yeah, and a firm, we're sitting a couple bucks in the money on this firm trade, but we're right in that cluster, that VWAP, this breakout that happened here at 110. At this particular point, I'm actually trailing it right tightly into this 110 level because I don't want this breaking back up and turning into a jailbreak trade. If it goes back to 112, we can always actionably trade that level if we want to. 3.5 minutes until we move over to memes and movers, and the stock which has moved on me, which, you know, it'll be my negative one for the day because we were just able on that short to get back into the looking nice on a firm. That's going to be Virgin Galactic. Now, it has not really broken out. It's bounced nicely, but if you look at the daily chart, and we're still hanging around those lows. So I still feel pretty bearish about this thing, at least in the overall. It could test those lows, but you can't deny the fact that it has pulled back in rather nicely. Same goes with Tesla, which, again, like, I'm not happy with the fact that, you know, I missed out on the bigger long trade here. It was a good dip. I thought maybe it was going to extend. You can see here not even getting to that 700 level that we're talking about. But you are getting right back to, like, it couldn't break 725, and this is 725 in the 15-minute here. Support going a couple of weeks ago into early into the month. It couldn't break any higher than that. That's where I got out of my long. For any of the profit that we had. It does set yourself up for like a breakout more closer to 727 in the afternoon, especially if the NASDAQ, which looks like it's about to, turns green again. That could give you a nice potential break here on Tesla. So I'm going to trail out of a firm so that we can walk away with some profit on that stock. And again, couldn't have turned into a loser. With 2 minutes to go, Miss V, what do you got?
Thank you, Neil. And hey, guys, I hope you have a great start of this trading week. You're in a positive territory and just simply enjoy your day. Well, please make sure you like this video before you leave. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Me and Prad can wait you to join Memes and Movers show. And happy National Peanuts Day.
Peanuts, okay. Well, take me out to the ball game, you know.
As long as you don't have allergies.
Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. We like that. Yeah, allergies. Oh, yeah, peanuts have got a bad rub. I mean, obviously, there are people with serious allergies there. I remember, I mean, now we both have kids in school, and you used to be able to just crush those PB&Js.
Yeah, man, that's all it was about.
Now you have to have, like, not peanut butter, what do they call it? Wonder spread or something? There's some, I don't know.
Look, man,
we have it. I don't know what it is. Some kind of a fake peanut butter. Wow, AMC starting to go up nicely as well. More than 80 cents in the money on AMC and $1.20 in the money on Microsoft. There must be earnings though, right? Maybe there's not enough. Brendan, do we have an earnings board today?
Oracle. That's it.
I like Oracle. Okay, it's probably not the sexiest name in the world, but hey, man, why not? Oracle's been a good cloud play, at least recently, from the old school. We have 1 minute to go that we're going to throw to memes and movers, but I got to throw this one out there because we opened talking with football. So some of you guys know that Sean and I were playing each other week 1 in our fantasy football league. I need six catches, 80 yards, a touchdown, and four first downs from Mark Andrews. And I will beat Sean week 1. Otherwise, I am going to take the L because Sean's team showed out a little bit. So
Not
we'll see
really.
what happens.
I mean, I pulled Winston for Big Ben. Like, what the hell was I
Well,
doing?
I can't help you with making a ridiculous decision like that. Jameis Winston.
I got him in my other pool, thank God, at least. Anyways, I don't know why I pulled him. I should have just kept him in there.
Come on, Mark Andrews.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, Baltimore should be good. What was my favorite? Yeah, Memes and Movers is going to 2 p.m. right now.
Yeah.
Right now. So, I don't know. I liked watching the San Francisco-Detroit game just because it was crazy at the end, and there's always going to be fun, football games to go. You know, some of the rule changes and whatnot. I mean, we'll watch NFL, and we're super, super excited. But, hey, Neil, throw it over. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Now it is time. You guys have been waiting for it. You're going to get Trader Prad and Ms. V from 11 all the way till 2. It's Memes and Movers time. See ya.
Hey guys, welcome back. Like I said, we're going to have a surprise today, and that is Memes and Movers is extended all the way to 2 p.m. So can't wait to, see all you guys in the chat for an extended period of time. Let's start off with the intro. I'm Trader Prad. This is the beautiful Miss V over here.
Hey guys, welcome back everyone. We hope you had a great weekend, ready to rock and roll as we are.